And away we go. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another episode of Watts World. If you don't know by now, it's the show about everything and nothing all at one time. You just don't know what you may or may not get, you know? Let it be so. Let it be so. Prepper 101 has spoken. That will be tonight's safe word. Could get a little unsafe. Who knows? Who knows? Bonnie, good to see you. Prepper 101, Anthony Crouch. Always a pleasure. TGIF. We made it to the end of another week, another work week. Now we have a weekend from such a long week, you know? It's what happens when you work your butt off all week. You have a weekend, you know? So they say. But I hope all is well. Just had a little rain shower push through the area. Yeah, it was I don't know, it was up in the 90s, I think again today, muggy. You know, so got kind of cloudy. But yeah, that little shower definitely cooled things off. I think it still felt like we was in the 80s. Bumped it down a few notches. Pete Charming, good to see you. I hope all is well. You know, pretty good day at work. Was able to finally close out a project that just been lingering too long. You know, nothing out of our hands, but every now and then you get one of those type of projects that no matter how hard or no matter how much you try to get out of it, it just keeps pulling you back in. Not from like a, a a problem aspect, you know, not really more problems. It's just things wanting to get changed after the fact, and the good idea fairy is still making these unannounced visits. You know, and we're like, you know, it's kind of why we ask all these questions in the beginning. You know, there's so many questions. I guess it could kind of seem ridiculous or whatever it may be. You know, like why is this electrician asking me all these questions? You know, I mean, ultimately they serve a purpose. They play a role. You know, just like whatever you do for a trade, for a living, for a a job. You know, it's just you know certain things. You've been doing it a while. You can see certain things. You can do it a little bit quicker than most people, just because you're in that pattern. You have that muscle memory of doing different things, seeing it same way here. You know, we always know the good idea fairy is going to visit. We just never know when it's going to be. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. You know, I settle for a 3x3. You know, I'll settle for a 3x4. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a little bit cooler this weekend. That'll definitely be nice. think we're supposed to get some more rain tomorrow. Not unless this shower that came through the night was the one. Nice. 3x4. I'll take that. You damn right I'll take a 3x4, Anthony. I will take that. A 3x3 from B, that's not really like a true 3x3. That's really like a 6x6. You know what I mean? Don't let it fool you. Don't let the optics and the numbers fool you. That's really a 6x6. I like it. I wasn't able to get any photos, but I was out and about getting my weekly tacos. And man, before I went in, you could see the moon just starting to kind of do its thing off in the corner. It wasn't bright or anything. The sun was still out, but man, I left out from getting tacos and man, it looked like the bottom was gonna fall out. I said, man, I don't think I can get back to the ranch quick enough. Man, I felt like I was in the movie Twister, I just like, man, instead of running towards the storm, I was running away from it. I couldn't beat it though. Ultimately I had to stop and get gas, and that's what got me. Got caught right in the middle of it. Yeah, these folks don't know how to drive on proper conditions. You add a little moisture in the mix. Oh man. It's like a mind erasing serum. You throw a little rain or a little snow or a little ice, it's just memory erasers. Just completely erases every thought, memory, muscle memory you once had. It's like pixie dust. I think that's what the Tinkerbell used to drop on the people, you know what I mean? They figured out somehow some type of way to manifest and concentrate the last remaining essences of pixie dust in the world. They figured out a way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Mm. Yeah, nice shot we got. Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, we didn't get one from this evening. I don't know. This shows light rain for about another hour, but oh man, it was like as soon as I walked in the gas station, uh, grabbed me a water, went to go pay for the gas. Boom. Cashier looked up and she said, "Is that rain?" And I said, Shh, "If it ain't rain, I don't know what it could be." But they all started freaking out. I said, "The only reason to freak out now is if you left your windows down. Other than that, ain't really no reason to freak out." Hmm. Hopefully everybody's all right. Yeah, I know. I was caught up in one the other day, right after it happened. Man, unfortunately, there was somebody. I don't know the whole story. There definitely had to be more to the story, but make a long story short, yeah, somebody got hit and killed by a train. Same area, same track. Somebody got hit and killed. I think last week. Um, so two incidents in as many weeks. Um, now they came out with a statement. I think yesterday or today, talking about the homeless issue and the different things like that. Yeah, it's okay to talk about these things, but when you know that there's a problem, you see the problem, and for whatever reason, you just don't really want to fully acknowledge the problem until something happens. Then your cards is your hand is forced. You kind of got to say something now because the people want to know, the public want to know what's going on. What's going on with these out of control train tracks, and why do people feel the need just to walk on them? I don't know. Definitely not a normal situation. I know there's a big on that particular train track and at that particular side of town. I ain't gonna say it's well known, but I know about it. because it's a road that I normally go down, and when you get to the low point on the train tracks, you can look across and you can see all the way under the bridge to the next road, which is probably, I don't know, about a mile down. You can see the next road junction, and yeah, there's I've seen a big homeless camp in there for the last couple of years. I don't know how long it's been there, but I don't know. Within the last 3 or 4 years is when I saw it kind of like start forming. And I don't know if it was like one of them things. It's like word of mouth, and people figured out that it was kind of a safe spot or whatever. But never heard about any uh, bad things happening. I'm not going to say people aren't doing drugs, people aren't drinking, but I haven't heard anything of that being a problem. You know, nobody's uh, being harassed, nobody's progress is being impeded. You know, for whatever it may be. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure when something like that happens, of course they investigate and they get the report of whoever was driving the train. You know, ultimately, I don't see the train conductor being at fault. You know, on a normal train, if something, I mean, I don't know, but whether his statement would be officially released, now that I would doubt. I doubt they would officially release it, not to this entirety. You know, whatever may have happened. Don't know if the guy was asleep or whatever it might have been. Man, if we got people just taking naps in the middle of an active train track, you know, what the heck is going on here? Taking a lot of naps in my day, but never thought, hey, you know, I'm fixing to go take a nap on a train track. And even as hard and as solid as I sleep, I could not sleep through a train directly over me. You know, I got a train track near my place. Probably, I don't know. If it comes through, you can hear it, but maybe 200 yards off, 200, 250 yards off on that side. That's the short side of the property, but yeah. Blue Butterfly, good to see you. I seen an article about that. Now I don't know if it was two different explosions or maybe I just saw the same story reported twice, but it seemed like there was an incident earlier this week with some type of rocket malfunctioned or blew up. And then I just saw the story about the Blue Origin. I think that's Jeff Bezos. I think that's Jeff Bezos's rocketeering adventure. You know, everybody wants to be a rocket man, you know. Everybody wants to be the rocket man. But I don't know. Yeah, I did see that story. Don't know if it's the I saw the same story twice or it was two different rockets. I don't know. Either way, the rockets are blazing. I know. I hope so. You know, how many rockets can be simultaneously self combusting within the same week? The odds are high, but I don't know. Sandy, good to see you. I hope all is well. Who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah, here locally, they're now the storyline is they're discussing ways that data centers and these type of places could be slowed down. You know, they're not saying that they're trying to stop it. They're not saying that, you know, what are the real options. Just I saw the story on the local news last night after the no, it wasn't last night. Maybe Wednesday night after the Braves game. I watched a little bit of the local news. Yeah, and everything was just saying, you know, ways that could have possibly been or things that could have possibly happened, and that's basically just saying, yeah, you've already done reached your decision, your ultimate goal, you know, with whoever's behind the data centers, you know, different I don't know, I don't know if it's different state by state or if it's something like a you know, like cell towers, you know, like Watts World, you know, I got 33 I got 33 data centers, you know. Fucking Jerry, he's got 40 data centers. You know, I don't know if it's a breakdown. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Boom, boom. A boom, boom, boom. It wouldn't surprise me, you know. And that's not like even like the new hype or the new wave of like the last few years of I guess I don't know, mainstream. You know, you hear about it like more mainstream, but who knows about the certain ones or certain applications that were in the where they call it the beta testing, you know, where they roll out certain things. Who knows how many uh, were originally in the original infrastructure? You know, they probably, in my mind, they probably did like a wave. Each time they did like they upgraded the G. You know, each time we did a different generation of whatever it is, mobile data, cellular data, the speed, whatever it is, the fifth generation. I believe they probably did different applications or different setups or startups or pop-ups during each generation. You know, each generation experiences things just like the humanoids. You know, the humanoids experience a lot of the same things during different generations. You know, we just see it, feel it, uh, live it a little bit different. You know, at a certain generation, the lack of technology, the lack of things keeps you more local. You know, but anyways, so who knows with the data centers? I know Georgia. I know here on Georgia, they're talking about pumping them out. You know, we got to have it. I know a buddy of mine. He does painting. He does he does commercial painting for a living. And the company that he works for, they just did a job over in South Carolina, right across the river, and North Augusta. South Carolina has a city, a town directly opposite of Augusta called North Augusta. Augusta was so great and so wonderful, you know, that South Carolina was like, "Hey, let us get a little piece of that. We'll call it North Augusta." But over in North Augusta, they have a buddy of mine that does painting. They just did one. I forget how many square feet, um, but the videos that he posted on his social media on his YouTube, they didn't. It didn't look real big, you know. I mean, it was a good sized facility, but I mean, it didn't seem like it was massive by any means. Um, so it's probably just something local for like a town or like a city. North Augusta, they've been doing stuff like that for years. I know they when you're in the city, like all the different shops and restaurants and stuff that's right over there, there's Wi-Fi. The city and the town is Wi-Fi. You just walk down the street wherever. If you're like within the city limits, or right over there, you just they do Wi-Fi. So they've been integrating and doing those type of things for a while, different levels. And what was the big sonic boom? So South Carolina this morning. I don't know. I did hear something about that. Not any news articles or something, but I think one of my coworkers that lives over in Carolina, he said something about it. But I didn't never look it up, and I don't think he really. I don't know if he know much about it. It was still kind of like in the beginning stages of like what the heck was that? It's the sonic booms of the South. A boom, 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 boom. Cha 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 cha. Yeah, that seems. It's just like anything like midterms. It's that maybe a campaign talking point. You know, no data centers. That's even like a thing here in my area. You know, uh, yeah, everywhere you see the all the different political signs you see around them or wherever they put signs. Yeah, you see the no data, no data centers. Hey, who knows? You know, allegedly that's where the first shot was fired for the Civil War was in South Carolina, allegedly. You know what I mean? So who knows? But I always miss it. Like I don't know. I have seen some stuff or different things. People said they've seen, but there's been people said they've heard different booms, different things, or earthquakes. They felt the tremors of earthquakes that was reported, and yeah, I didn't feel or acknowledge anything, nothing that I knew of. Yeah, I have to look it up, see when it was. I don't know. Makes me think back to like, what was it, like a month ago, or like a month and a half ago, within the last 2 months, when you had all those uh, alleged comets or meteorites, meteors, whichever one is the correct term. I forget, meteor, meteorite. Uh, People reporting those from around the country, around the world. There were some instances where they were coming in uh, and making booming type sounds, or like I think even a couple of them. Even there was that one over, I think Ohio. They said the boom that it put off is because it exploded or something. Um, so who knows? Yeah, I can't think of the song or who sings it. If the song came on, I could probably sing the whole song. It's stored away subconsciously, but yeah, it's like a boom, 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 and that's all I got. That's all I got. Can't even Google it. If you try to Google that many booms, your internet will probably shut down. You'll probably reach your social credit of Google's just for that one search. I don't encourage it. Daddy Elo, greetings and salutations. I don't know if I know the handle or the character, but I appreciate you being here. Regardless of what happens in this very complex data center situation, I think we all can agree that no matter what, Donald Trump cannot have a nuclear weapon. Heck, I don't even want one. You know what I mean? It's just, and then me personally, I don't even think like nuclear, like they say nuclear, or how they project nuclear. I don't think it's really, and this is just me theoretical theorizing. I don't know it. I don't know any more than the last high end fortune cookie that I opened right before I came on this broadcast. I'm just guesstimating, theorizing, but I don't. Me personally, I don't believe it's like a nuclear bomb or a nuclear explosion like we think of, like a uh, Terminator Judgment Day, or everybody's pressing the button and it's just mushroom clouds everywhere. I don't think it would be like that. I could be wrong, but even as the good versus evil, the enemy, they have to have a place to dwell, a place to do their bidding. However long this system or this life or this matrix continues, who knows? But I don't know. If anything, I see it more like a digital, uh, like a digital Armageddon, or maybe a EMP. Allegedly, the hypothetical EMP scenarios where you take as simple as that. We've all talked about the thing. Shit hits the fan, whatever it may be. But you just take one of those type of serious scenarios and you knock out internet communications, people's ability to get their digital currency or interact on social medias or stuff like that. That causes a huge rift, uh, and it starts in the mind, and then it just flows out through the body. Some people can handle it, some people can't. Ultimately, I think we would all be lying to ourselves if we say that it wouldn't affect us. To completely lose internet. We would all be affected some way. Some differently than others. Some people would just, it wouldn't be as bad. Some people just really wouldn't care overall. But I mean, ultimately, if you're doing different things like this or whatever, ultimately the human interaction is enjoyable. Different views, different points, whether I align with it or not. I guess maybe in my next life I'll be a cat. I'll be a tiger. I guess I always had a little bit curiosity, but I think we all do, different levels, different rabbit holes, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know if any of that even made any sense. Sometimes I don't even know. But there would be so much more. You could still reap all the worldly or mineral riches, but still have uh, the same impact humanity wise, devastation. Let's see here. What we got? In my opinion, anyone that needs to take 3 cognitive tests in 16 months, for whatever reason, shouldn't be allowed the codes. I wonder how those tests, I wonder what type of cognitive test, what would be the what would be just a generic cognitive test that they would give like the leader of the free world or a president, you know. I don't know when the term uh, got adopted in America as the U.S. president being the leader of the free world. I know it's kind of always been a thing since I've been alive. I'm pretty sure it goes back a couple of generations. I don't know officially when it became a thing. Uh, and I can see it definitely maybe going back to even the revolutionary times during the 250s. So I don't know. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't just, I don't think it would be just a one and gun. Uh, the president may say, let's go, but it's got to be at least, I don't know. In my mind, I would think there would always be an odd number. That way, if it was two either way, you could have that deciding vote. Always have an odd number. Like juries or whatever it is. That way, you always have one person that could ultimately shift it either way. Same way with politics. Speaker of the House ultimately, we decide and vote on things like that, or was it the vice president? Same way, you know. You definitely, even if it was nuclear, like Terminator Judgment Day, everything blows up, goodbye. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to have that much power in one person. You know, ultimately, anybody deciding that type of thing is just insane, really. But I guess to make it less insane, you got to have a little demo crazy. You got to have a little democracy. Good old demo crazy. Yeah. Yeah, there may or may not be a test later. So, yeah, please pay attention. Please take notes. There may be a test. Maybe this could be the test itself. Who knows? The fact of just being here and bearing with me, that is a phenomenal and fascinating test. I think at this part of the class, you would definitely pass with flying colors. Everybody gets a gold star and participation trophy at this point. Who knows? I might dress up tomorrow as C3PO and just go protest data centers. Who knows? That'll really confuse them. They're like, damn, an android is protesting the data centers? Elon must have put him up to this. Yeah. Yeah, you start prescribing the doctor ailments. You know what I mean? You go there because you feeling bad and you ended up prescribing him something. That's the world we in now. You go to the doctor to get healed and you have to heal somebody else. It's role reversal day. It's bring your patient to work day. Interesting stuff. figured the best way if you want to go, if you want any type of better service or faster service, if you, even if it's just a basic question or just to find out something, you walk into the hospital, you always want to have some flowers with you. You know what I mean? It's very, very handy. They see a person with flowers, they like, all right, this person is on a mission. They probably need some accurate guidance, accurate directions, you know. And if all else fails, you know, you may see your future wife or your future husband, boom, you got you some flowers, you know. You don't want to walk out of there with the flowers, but they do help and assist in your mission. You know, that is ultimately that's your side quest, is to not leave with the flowers. You must obtain the location of your loved one's patient and directory. But yeah, walk in the hospital with some flowers. That's news you can't use, I promise you. Oh, I know, right? Shoot, we're all the presidents, the CEOs, the Smith and Smiths, you know. I don't care how much money they throwed at me, I wouldn't want the job. I wouldn't want it. That's like the yeah, the crickets are loving it. The crickets, the frogs. Oh man, I hear the frogs back in the back by the little, well, it ain't really a little creek, it's just like a little flow back there, but yeah, they're back there loving it. There you go, you know. I may need to find a nurse in need, you know. Find a good nurse in need. Who knows? I don't need any medical advice, but I may need to, you know, may need some patient therapy. You know, there's always a little patient therapy. What they call it, outpatient therapy. We'll do some outpatient therapy, Blue. Red, good to see you, Ken. Hope all is well. You know, just a little free your mind Friday. Whatever you got on your mind, your heart, lay it on me. What's going on? What's happening? If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Let me see here.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Viewer discretion is advised. Let me see here. Do the little thingy thing with the thingy thing. Can I get a chicken wing? Can I get a collard green? Can I get a little macaroni and the cheese, please? Y'all know about that. Free your mind and the rest will follow. There you go. You know, it is. All right, I'm back. Got the link in chat. Everything should be pinned for the win. Bring your conversation, bring your controversy, but whatever it is, make sure it's the A+ game. Oh, you couldn't handle it, Bunny. The stuff I'm on, you can't even bottle it up. You can't even find it. You can't replicate it or even, you know what I mean? It's the stuff that dreams are made out of, and that nightmares flee from. It's the type of stuff that could just, you know, make you want to climb a mountain, make you want to move a mountain. Why do I need to climb it when I can just go right through it? You know? Neither do I, but you know, you got to say that. I think I'm contractually obligated to say that now. I have to put that out there. What is the question? What is that? The same one you use for the backstage? You mean the link? Yeah, at any if that's what you mean, yeah, anytime the broadcast or the show is over and anybody wants to join the backstage link, that is the link that will be used for tonight's backstage hot yoga section. You know, it's Friday hot yoga session at Watts World, you know what I mean? But if that is your question, yes, ma'am, that will be the link for the backstage. Buckeye Bob, always good to see you. I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. There you go. Let's see here. Boom shakalaka. What's going on, buddy? You know, what you think about it? I love it. I had the same thoughts earlier myself, and I'm like, all right, the heck with this. You know, it's just too much. I gotta have tacos. Gotta have the talks. No, feeling good, feeling great. I don't know. I always feel the energies kind of surging and transcending this time of the month, you know. I always try to feel good overall, you know, ups, downs, whatever, but I don't know. Maybe it's the full moon. Some people go crazy during the full moon, you know, and they fall into the full lunar lunacy. I guess maybe I still adapt some of that primal lunacy, you know, willingly or unwillingly, known or unknown. It's there. It's definitely there. Just sitting under the neon light of the moon. Can't see it now, but I know it's up there. Maybe when these rain clouds push out. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I forgot what the safe word was. It was a good one, too. I forgot. How did I forget the safe word? You know, these things ain't supposed to happen. There it is. I found it. At any point in tonight's broadcast, you feel any form of discomfort, displeasure, irritability, irregularity, meat sweats, cold sweats, or any type of overwhelming discomfort or displeasure that you just can't quite describe, tonight's safe word is McLovin. You know, it's a beautiful thing, McLovin. You know, if you know, you know. If you don't know, could Google it. I think it's still safe to Google the McLovins. Shout out Prepper 101. I think he had to go pack a lunch. I think him and his mother-in-law, they going on a picnic tomorrow. He had to go make some egg salad sandwiches. You know how that goes. It's a messy game. Somebody's got to do it. Vicky, good to see you. I hope all is well. Go Dogs. Pat Evans, always good to see you. I hope all is well. You know, there you go. Never waste a good home. So I'll take that as that's a good one. You know. Ladies and gentlemen. And we're off.
Is my mic working?
Welcome to Watts World.
Thank you.
Working good.
Sounds like you're doing great tonight.
It's happening, Bunny. I'm just feeling good. I'm feeling great. I got an email from Governor Kemp, the governor of Georgia, that said since the alien invasion and disclosure is coming up soon, I have been chosen as a possible candidate selected from the state of Georgia to represent the upcoming intergalactic meeting and standoff with the intergalactic species and the humanoids.
Dang.
So I'm a candidate. Could be. I could be going live with ET, Bunny. This could be happening.
I can't wait to see that one.
Me too. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think there's like 17 candidates. You know, I'm one of the 17. So who knows? We'll see how it goes. I made it through the first initial interview stage.
Yes, yes.
I hope
Yeah,
something-
I've been talking and carrying on the conversation, y'all, this whole time, and noticed my mic was not working.
Oh, damn. Yeah, you're good now. If you said anything earlier, I didn't hear it, you know. But
Good,
who knows?
nobody
The
here.
internet's been wonky lately. Who knows? But I don't know. Jerry,
hear me
good to
now?
see you, Jerry. Hope all is well.
You can hear me now? Good.
Yes.
Cheryl can't hear you. Unfortunately, Cheryl can't hear you. Cheryl told me to say she can't hear you.
Gerald, you got to take the earplugs out first.
Yeah, you got to put them out. You got to take them out and put them on the charger for them to work.
No.
Dude, their weather was like my weather today. It would have been a great day for a pool. At the end of
Yes.
the day, I was thinking, man, I wish I had me a swimming pool. I jump slap in it right now.
It was definitely hot enough.
You know, hey, I thought 4th of July was this weekend. I'm like, man, yeah, shoot, yeah, let's get these bottle rockets going. No, it's just the end of May. Just the end of May.
Luckily, where I sit, I have a lot of shade because I'm surrounded by trees. So that helps on cooling. So I don't have to run my air quite as much yet. But
oh, you mean your house? Yeah, that definitely helps.
yeah, I got trees all around. My wife is like, "What if a storm comes? One of them trees comes across?" I said, I don't know.
We had one a couple hours ago. Well, yeah, about a couple hours ago. Man, it poured down for about 20, 30 minutes. Then it stopped, and now it's just kind of, I mean, it's just drizzling so soft. Y'all probably can't even hear it. I can see it, you know, but it's just almost like a mist, like a heavy mist at this point.
That must have been what hit us before it got up to y'all. Because
oh yeah, dude.
Earlier, it was like for 30 minutes, it just almost flooded.
Hey, Mary. Someone fixed Canine Man an egg salad sandwich.
Somebody get this man an egg sandwich, stat. Scrambled
That's probably
or
what I'm
fried?
going to eat when out for breakfast in the morning. Not an egg salad where you boil it and then you mix it up into an egg salad and put it on a sandwich.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Little mayo and mustard.
Sometimes I just
Salt,
got
pepper.
lazy. Sometimes I just made a boiled egg sandwich. I just boiled eggs and slice them up and throw them on there, you know? The heck with just making it a salad. Just making it a boiled egg sandwich.
I like just scrambling the eggs and mix mayonnaise while it's warm and slap it on there. It's good.
The fried egg sandwiches are good too.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. If they're on toasted bread, right? What?
I like toasted bread sometimes.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
remember.
some things do taste better on toasted bread.
I remember you having the yolk running.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they made that. Yeah, my friend's mom or whatever made that egg sandwich for me that time. Yeah, you know, didn't even think to even just
Now
ask certain
y'all got
questions, and it's just I guess it was dealer's choice. I guess it was just, hey, you go to school with my son, so I guess you'll like the same breakfast type of deal. So I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, it was the runniest egg sandwich I ever had, and then it was on just non-toasted bread, so there was no absorption factor. You know what I mean? It was so loose that the bread was start. It was like, like how does bread disintegrate? You know, how do you reach the level of bread disintegrating in your breakfast preparing effort? You know, how do you even do that? Yeah, I ain't even have Facebook or MySpace, but I had to unfriend that guy. It was just it's too weird after that, buddy.
Right. Okay, what's the
I
nine?
wasted the egg and the bread.
Are you asking what's the safe word?
No, I know what the safe word is.
Oh.
Loving.
Make love it,
Loving.
put it on a shirt.
I'm wondering what Mary means. We're approaching the 9-inch deficit in the strap. What's
Oh, that's definitely code. That is definitely code.
Wherever she is, that means wherever she is, they're 9 inches below where they should be with rainfall.
okay.
So that's like a serious drought.
Well,
I believe she's up in North Carolina, I believe.
I think we're hitting our record for the I think we passed the record on rainfall.
Yeah, we're passing records. The records you don't want to pass, that's the records we're passing right now, you know?
The area I'm in is in the area I'm in is in a severe drought. So this rain for the last couple of days has actually been a blessing. We needed it.
There you go. Why choose one meat when you can have the bacon and the sausage? You know, you can have two meats. Two meats, 3 proteins.
Not just any egg sandwich. Throw on the meat.
Gotta have the meats. They got this man, what is this I don't eat at the mall much because it's all like, you know, it's all like the same stuff. But anyway, we do a lot of like electrical work, little stuff in there, but there's just one place I have got stuff in there a couple times and it wasn't too bad, you know. I think it's called what is it called? Sarku. I think it's called Sarku. I don't know if y'all have that or in y'all's malls, but anyways, whatever. But we went there and picked some stuff for the guy, and he was like, "Go around front. I give you guys something to eat. Y'all hungry?" So he was like, "Yeah, you know, hook you up on the house." We got around front, and my coworker, I told him to go first. You know, I'm gonna see how this pans out. So he ordered his stuff. He said, "All right, big man, what you want?" And I said, "You can get whatever." He said, "Whatever you want." And I said, "Well, shoot, give me the chicken and give me the steak." He said, "Oh, no, no, no. You get all the meats. Give him all the meats." So man, he put the chicken, he put the steak, he put the shrimp. And I think that was all the meats. I don't think there was more than 3. But anyway, he put and then they put it on the hibachi thing and they cook it on the little black stoner thing right in front of you right quick. But anyway, it wasn't too bad, you know. Free meal, I couldn't beat that. Free steak, shrimp, and chicken meal. Yeah, you get all the meats. Good night, B. I appreciate you being here. You have a safe and blessed weekend. It's tough being the queen bee, but somebody's got to do it. It must be done. Yeah, get this guy the meats. He's 300 pounds. He looks malnourished. They'd put you in the hospital where I'm from. He's like one of those. I think he's like, I don't know, Samoan or
yeah.
my mind went blank. But he's of that stature. You know, he's a pretty big dude. You know. So yeah, you're like under 300 pounds over in his clan. They start looking at you funny. You know. Even the women's pushing 250, but it's a tall 250 because they're like all 6 foot. You know, there ain't no short people in his family.
Like Amazon women or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're coming out 30 pounds.
I got
24 inches.
I got a friend that's on another channel. He's known as the Samoan Watchman.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen him around. The Samoan Watchman. Yeah,
I have too.
Shoot, yeah. I love them. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how far it is, but yeah, I've seen a lot of them. They're pretty, you know, they're healthy. They're, you know, they got a good statute to them.
They're healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
No doubt. They got some place. I think it's a guy. I think it's the same people that always. Well, I ain't gonna say I always go to them, but if I'm feeling it, and I see them set up, I'll get something from them. They do like a Samoan Hawaiian style barbecue. They got like a food truck, and they set up at different events. But I forgot past it somewhere, and it said coming soon. Samoan style barbecue. So I don't know if it's the same people. I hope it is. I hope they finally done leveled up and can get them a place. Some people get a food truck and level up to a restaurant, and some people get a restaurant and expand out with food trucks. Whatever it may be. I like to have both. That'd be pretty cool.
My son-in-law is trying to talk me into getting a food truck and letting them run it. I mean, maybe if they put it in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah, the moon is bright. It's cloudy, but yeah, it's got all the clouds lit up. I love figs. You can in the fall before they winterize, you can trim them. You can watch videos on it. There's ways that people tell you how to do it specifically, but the short version, you trim them down and you keep them insulated, and they're almost kind of like not really like go dormant, but they'll kind of go into a winter stage, and then when spring comes, oh man, they just explode. And figs, figs and things like that. If you clip them back, whatever, yeah, they can explode fast. I mean, you could see 10, 15 foot easy, or just depending on the different variety. But yeah, they grow pretty fast. I love them. I need to get some more and plant more figs. And then if you know what you're doing, you could get a couple and you could just keep propagating or whatever. You could just it's one of those things you can plant once and it keeps giving back to you if you know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend people looking into things like that. Different plants, different things, especially if they're edible and we can have a second use for them besides them being beautiful and maybe smelling good or looking good. There's a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
There you go. Some people don't just let it go natural. I like natural, but like any type of different fruit trees or stuff like that, there's different things. Some things people may have the same results as someone else, but they just will swear, yep, my method's the true way, but ultimately we may do the same things and get the same results. So actually both things can be true. Our method is the way and your method is the way. Climates, locations, a lot of things can factor in.
Excuse me. Yeah, we used to do that with rose bushes. Like from grandmothers and what have you. It makes me think of fig Newtons.
Oh, yeah. I love some fig Newtons.
Yeah, those are pretty.
No. See, y'all got it wrong there. 'Cause if you try a fig Newton and you think that's what a fig's going to taste like, it'll ruin you. Because I don't know how it happened, but as a kid, I don't know who allowed it to happen, but I did try a fig Newton at an early age, and it almost scarred me, dude. I'm like, this is what a fig tastes like. The heck with these things. So I said, the heck with it. I tried one. I'm like, all right, now I know. Huh, I found a new button. How about that? That's pretty cool. Y'all see the chat on the side or no?
Back when I worked at overnight.
I see it.
What's that?
Oh no, I was just pressing buttons. I didn't even know I could do that back here. Got all type of features and options back here. They gave me too many options. I'm gonna utilize every option on this second generation Obama phone of mine. I yield.
Back when I worked overnight as a DJ at a radio station, that's basically what I ate in the middle of the night. When I took a little break from the mic, I had me I think I would eat a whole pack of those each night I worked at a radio station.
Fig Newtons.
of nothing but Fig Newtons.
They keep you going.
Man,
Well,
there had to be a lot of sugar in that. I wouldn't do it now, but
They probably definitely probably
normally
had
like maybe
definitely a better product maybe then. Who knows? Now ain't no telling.
I mean that was back when I was like 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, there's
So
probably hardly
many
any
years.
fig. It's probably all Newton.
40 plus years ago.
Yeah, you're paying for all Newton. You get 10% fig, 90% Newton. You don't even want to
And
know what
water
the Newton is.
and whatever else they throw in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You can't say 90%. Yeah, you got to do 80, 10, and 10.
That's just
Never
like
go 90.
this local pizza chain that I used to work for as an assistant manager. They had like the regular mozzarella, and then they had the imitation. They would mix it together about 30% of the real, and the rest of it was imitation. But they would put on their boxes, we use 100% cheese. Well, they did use 100% mozzarella, but they also
So it's
added
not
the
a
other.
lie. Yeah, it's not a lie.
That's how, yeah, that's how they get around it. No, we ain't got to tell you we giving you some artificial shit.
Oh no, that makes sense. Like when you do it on the side, it could be for people that view from like a television, because I don't think you can see
Yeah.
chat on a television. There you go.
Yeah, you can't see the chat on the TV when you go into the app.
But you can see the chat. You can see it on there if I do this, though, right?
Yeah, they can read it. I mean, they can't participate in it, but they can read it if they're
All
on
right.
their
Well,
TV.
there we go. We just shut a few doors and open up a
maybe
couple new ones.
They see it on there and like, oh, maybe I should go log in on my computer and go chat it up.
There you go.
Had some conversation
Now you know why. Now you know why on your television why Blue Butterfly was talking about the four zucchinis. Nice. Yeah, I love zucchini. Zucchini, squash, they do pretty well. Sometimes, man, it's like if you got enough of them going, it seems like they just grow overnight. Good summer squash and some zucchini. I love them. Yeah, you may have 5,000 birds inside this facility, but for the fact that there may be like one door open, it's just all in the words of how they say things. Those titles and I guess terms maybe meant something at one time, but now it's just a label. It's not even really a title anymore. It's just like a label. It's
all
catchy.
bread and circus.
People like to see it. They like to, even
it's a
if
pony
they
show.
Yeah, even if they know it's bad, they still like to see it on there. Or at least they're consistent with the BS. I know it's BS, but at least they're consistent. Yeah. Cage free. Imagine that. They're selling caged free options in a caged world, Who would ever thought? Where are these outside chickens that are outside of this cage?
Yeah.
At this point, they would have all passed. They're like pterodactyls, They had no human interference. They've just slowly evolved and morphed into pterodactyls like I don't know. I used to read the books as a kid, the Animorphs. I don't know if you're familiar with the Animorphs series. I think they made it into a show, but I think it started out as a book. And anyway.
I remember Animaniac.
The three little I don't know, what were they, dogs or cats? I never really knew what they were. Thinking now that you mention it, I never forgot about them. The Animaniacs. Yeah, it was like two boys and a girl. But yeah. Oh, that was like a subconscious mental implosion. How did that even happen? See what I'm saying? That was the same thought I just had in my mind. But it was like It was like one upright question mark, an
Caucasian
upside down
Sasquatch.
question mark, and the other one was regular, like, riddle me this. Riddle me this, Sasquatch. Good to see you, though. All right, puppies. He said they were dogs. I'll take that. I will take that. We'll take anything we can get, at this point. What you think about it, Bunny? You like what you see or not?
Dang, take that picture down.
All right. All right.
Good
I know.
dogs.
Oh, hold on. Dang. It's just making me put up more pictures. I can't figure out how to get out of this picture void. All right, I'm out of here. The moment, so it passed, If you don't like it, I love it. And if you love it, I even like it even more.
I had to go look at the moon. It
Hey,
is.
I will. Go ahead, Bonnie.
I was just saying I had to go look at the moon. It is pretty.
I think I'm the one I can't see it. I can't see it here on
where I can
Georgia.
see the moon.
He is an Animaniacs fanatic. Some would say a freakazoid of sorts, We appreciate all the freakazoids, the rejects, the underdogs, the ones that would have been naysayed. I appreciate all of them.
Oh, that's why he's Buckeye Bob.
Oh, no, you didn't, Buckeye Bob, So we was building and bonding over this long term of Penalverse and interactive wordologies, And never once did I even think of that. But, it's good, though. Go dogs.
Roll Tide.
What the heck
Boo,
was even
Ohio.
that? What the heck is even that? I ain't gonna lie. That game when Georgia played Ohio a couple years ago when Georgia won the Natty. Oh man, dude, that was an intense game. It came down to right at midnight. I mean, how could you even, strike a midnight? That was one heck of a game. Ohio and Alabama and Georgia, it's pretty much written that we're going to play each other. I mean, even if we don't play in the regular season, we're going to battle it out in the postseason at some point, or the SEC. But yeah, certain teams. But now it's a little bit different. They're expanding. Teams are playing, even if you're still in the sports, whatever it is. I still follow a lot of college football. Not so much NFL as I used to, but college ball I still follow. But yeah,
Yes.
it's interesting stuff.
That's the way we are with Oklahoma. The OU Texas game is big. And people will travel miles and miles to watch it.
Hey, what's up with that, Bonnie?
It's guaranteed to be a good game.
Oh, no doubt.
I guess.
Oh, no doubt. We're 99 days away.
Yep.
Shoot, the Georgia Bulldogs baseball team was playing tonight. Shoot, man, they was lighting it up, man. They were just absolutely destroying the Long Island Sharks. How do you from Long Island and your mascot is the Sharks? When was the last time there was a reported shark sighting in Long Island? You know what I mean? Who are these people? Where did the Sharks doing up there? Anyway, allegedly the game, Georgia won the SEC, so they're hosting the games. As long as they keep winning, they'll host a home bracket, I guess, until they get to Omaha or wherever they'll battle it out. But anyway, yeah, they were beating them 12-1 or 13-1, and it started storming. So they postponed the game in the sixth inning, and they said they're going to replay the rest of the innings in the morning. And I said, man, what kind of crap is that, man? What is the mercy rule? 12-1. Said, all right. So they suspended the game. I was watching. I'm like, oh, heck no. They're going to try some crazy stuff. So they suspended it till tomorrow morning.
Aw.
How are you, Yeti? Good to see you, my friend. I hope all is well. Yeah, I've been tracking your different sportsologies and your video quests. Who's your college football team? Let me see if I can guess. I probably can guess these type of things, Bunny, but just subconsciously. Let's see. He probably is. I can't get a reading. I can't figure it out. He's probably either a Michigan fan or a UC. What is it? USC fan. It's gonna be one of the
Drum
three. What?
roll.
I don't even have the drum. I need to get the drum roll feature. I didn't upgrade on my digital package yet.
You didn't add drum rolls to your on your soundboard?
No. Let's see what this does.
I've
Let
got two
the
different drum rolls
games
on mine.
begin.
Let the games begin.
Man, Johnny's flip flopping more than a waffle at the Waffle House, man. Now he's a Texas fan.
Look at horns.
Dang, Johnny done went to the dark side, man. Johnny, just when I was starting to like you, you know, you have some horrible audio issues, you know, but I still, you know, thought we was bonding, bro.
Oh, he's not a Texas fan.
Oh no! See, we'll edit that part out. They'll never know that you said you're not a Texas fan. All right, I was way off. Kansas State Wildcats. There you go. You are definitely in Kansas.
Kansas. Hope you're being safe in those tornadoes. They've been really getting hammered too.
I'll take you to the Wizard of Oz. You know, you got to have your daily out flights to the Wizard of Oz in Kansas.
Well,
just tap your shoes 3 times.
There you go.
Yeah, Kansas and Oklahoma, you can kind of expect it because it's so flat.
Flatlands.
Always on the lookout. Yes.
One of the moderators could drop RU Yeti's link. I'd appreciate that.
I got it.
Share your own link. Sling the links. If you got a link, sling it. I know everybody's not a moderator, you know. Things could change. Unfortunately, if I try to do it now, we'll end up in Jekyll Island. You know, even if you want to go there and see there, that's not a trip you want to take. Trust me.
Jekyll Island got some dark history.
I like it. I like histories, even of the arcade.
We won't discuss the Federal Reserve.
What do you mean? I don't even know.
That's where it all started.
What are they reserving? You know, where are the reserves? How do we get a piece of the reserve? Who's ultimately sitting there counting the reserves? Are they preserving the reserves? You know, you can have a reserve, but are you preserving it? You know, what's happening? What do you think about it?
If for some reason I drop down, my internet is acting up again tonight. I've already had them out here and checked it. And they said everything's working fine. There's nothing wrong with your internet. But it's been for the last couple of months. It's been going in and out.
We'll have to get on that new program that they was talking about. The what was the communication program they were Zombie was talking about last night that people's been going around talking about?
Meshtask.org. And
yeah, there you go. Whatever that is, I don't even know.
It's a thing. Actually, I know someone who said that they used it years ago in Colorado for their communication.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Yes. I wouldn't think it would be a new technology. If anyway, maybe a new, I don't know. I lost my train of thought, you know, people's getting into it, you know, it's becoming a thing again or trending for whatever it may be, you know, communication aspects, you know, not saying you've been fearful, but just, you know, maybe setting something up just in case of. I don't even know much about it. I don't know anything about it. You know, I've heard the thing. I 1,000 times, and ultimately I just have to look into it if it's something I want to look into. But yeah, the
We could
nose.
we could all go back to when they used ham radios.
There you go. Eat you
Well,
a ham sandwich while you're hamming it up.
but so are you talking like the Bowfangs or the crank? Because the crank is only for listening, receiving. If you are gonna speak, then the Bowfangs. But the good thing about the Meshtastic is it's text. It's not hooked to anything. And I don't know. It just sounds like it'd be pretty cool.
I'm boycotting it already, Bunny.
You're boycotting it. Okay.
Yep.
Well, nice knowing you.
I don't even know.
If you think about it, okay, the military, when they go in somewhere, what's the first thing they're doing? While somebody's looking for shelter, someone's on the radio making sure
You
they
got
got
to set up, yeah, you got to set up base perimeter. You got to set up comms, you know.
yes.
It doesn't do you any good to be fortified and set up if you don't have any communication with whoever it may be, different units, different squadron, different commanders, you know. You can be out there somewhere fully prepared to do something, but the communication and everything is critical. Seconds matter. In reality or whatever, in every aspect, you know, not just the military, but I mean it's just the basic art of war, the basic, you know,
Yes.
a basic structure in a way. You know, you don't have to be directly going to battle fisticuffs with somebody, but just life, whatever, you know, communication, being able to communicate, whether it's verbally, physically, with a device, whatever.
Yeah. Even if it's an emergency, you need help, whatever. SOS.
Damn, I guess it's a StreamYard issue. I couldn't post a comment from StreamYard, but when I went to the YouTube page and then posted it in chat there, well, no, it didn't come through on this side.
I know, dude. They're trying every which way to figure it out. They can't figure it out. They're like, how the heck are they doing all of this off a second generation Obama phone with Taco Bell Wi-Fi? You know what I mean? It's just too many. They're doing 8G stuff in a 5G world. Like, who do they think they are over there at Watts World? James Neutron. You know what I mean? See, we're pulling too many neutrons, but unfortunately and fortunately, it's all the good ones. It's all the great ones. Cheers to you.
Yeah, I'm glad you went live.
Oh, what button was that? That wasn't the right button. Let's see what this one says. Hold on.
Viewer discretion is advised.
It is advised, Bunny. Yeah, I think they gave me the Temu. Audio pack. You know, good thing it was free. Maybe that's why it was free. Yeah. Never order anything free from Temu. You know, just pay the $1.99 stuff, you know. Don't get the free spin the wheel internet audio package.
I have never ordered anything from Temu.
Nah, I always say that, you know, as a joke, you know. I mean, I know they got all different type of stuff, you know, but you know. Before Temu, I think it was what was it, Wish? It was similar to Temu in a way.
Yeah.
But then I guess once Temu came out, the Wish went away. Couldn't make wishes anymore.
Wish is still there. I've actually bought
it's
a couple
still there?
of things. Yes, I've still got
man,
that.
I think I still got some credits I could cash in on. Good looking out. Hell yeah, buddy. We can make wishes again. I probably voided my credits. It's like you ain't been here in 3 years, bro. Who do you think you are?
I think last thing I ordered off of Wish was some LED lights.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get stuff pretty cheap on there.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm always out for a bargain. What's that?
Is it really cheap stuff? Like,
It's stuff you know what you're kind of get, and you got to make sure you look at the description on the sizes on stuff, because they'll say an item or show an item, and you're thinking, yeah, you're getting something that's full sized, and it's not. It'll be like a smaller or miniature size. So you got to look at the description. I will tell you that. But some things you get what you pay for, but there are some things that you can get off of there that ain't too bad. You know, they're little deals, whatever. You know.
You just basically take your chance when you order it.
Yeah.
And hope for the best.
Yeah, don't try to order no inflatable hot tubs from off of there, you know, and definitely look at the description. I tried to order the inflatable hot tub. That did not go well.
I think you
too
got
many watts.
Somebody in their backstage, what?
Let's see here. Who's in the backstage? Oh man. It's too much leg. Man, how can a person have that much leg, Johnny? What is going on down there? Why you have two kneecaps on one leg? Anyways, spring up, Johnny. Here's Johnny.
Like Johnny Carson, man. Nah, you forgot about Alibaba, man. Alibaba on the West Coast. They basically got things from China.
Man, y'all Alibaba in it?
Alibaba,
that's still a thing?
Before Temu is Alibaba. You would have to buy like 10 solar lights to get a really good deal.
Oh yeah, you had the good stuff. They don't give us that type. They don't give us the Alibabas no more, bro.
They're still around too. It's ALIBAB, I think.
That's it.
Bringing everything back.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, when I got my other house, most of the decor or stuff that I needed was Wayfair. I don't know if they're still around, but it was good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
seen different channels do that.
Yeah, well, I'm not a Texas fan, man. I'm not against Texas. South Texas I like much more than North Texas, but yeah. I'm not really a college football fan as much. I mean, I do like Georgia because of Bulldogs, because Fresno, I have a Bulldogs too.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But really, I mean, it's been a while since I checked out college football, man, and college sports in general. More professional sports, man. Like Atlanta Falcons, I follow probably more. Atlanta Braves, follow more. Atlanta Hawks, especially Atlanta Hawks, I follow them too.
All great organizations, And just to be clear, I did not pay you to represent or appreciate Georgia in any overwhelming fashion.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, I got to say that. The new contract says I have to say that.
We know about those deals behind the doors.
They're checking all the Georgia tiers. They think all the Georgia tiers is doing something weird. We have to let them know.
Does Georgia have a hockey team like Florida does? I don't know.
We got well I don't know about Atlanta, but now Bushcraft. Bushcraft has done videos where he's ordered stuff off of there. Yes, you kind of know to weave through there, but yeah, some of the stuff he's got, for what you pay for it and maybe how often you would use it, it's definitely worth it, But here in Augusta, we used to have a semi-pro team, the Augusta Lynx, and it was spelled L-Y. Heck, I even forgot how to spell it with it.
Kind of like the Minnesota Lynx.
Lynx, yeah. But it was like a spin-off. It was like a spin of, like Lynx, like the cat, but also it was a spin-off to like Lynx, like the golf Lynx, like homage to the we're losing them left and right. They're dropping like flies. It was a homage to the Lynx, like as in golf. But they already announced that they were bringing back a semi-pro hockey team. The former college quarterback, pro NFL quarterback Tim Tebow. He's the co-owner of the newly semi-pro team in Georgia, the Augusta Lynx. They brought the Augusta Lynx name back. You know, the people, that's what they wanted. They say if you bring it back, it got to be the Lynx, and they brought it back. Different color scheme, but pretty much the same thing. I put a
Cool.
it was a short. I reposted a short when they did the video, the promo of the unveiling at the ceremony. That was pretty cool.
Hmm.
There you go. Short story long. Now you don't know.
You should have seen my mama's house when football was going on, because my brother's all for the 49ers.
Uh-uh.
Well, he's in California. And my stepdad was all for the Cheeseheads, the Packers. And then Mama, and we all had to be growing up, Cowboys. So if the Cowboys was playing either one of those teams, if it was 49ers, my brother would be on the phone through the whole game. Everybody yelling, hollering, food flying. That is crazy. Gladiators. That's a cool name.
I posted
Yeah,
a link
Maxie.
in the beginning of the chat, but you said the Cheeseheads. You know, it was today in it was May 29th, today in history in 1848 that Wisconsin entered the Union.
Yep. You know, when we went through the Vicksburg National thing, I can't remember what they called it, where a lot of the Civil War took place. All states represented, and Wisconsin was there. With
Yeah, I'm not a
you.
I'm not a 49ers fan. I'm actually a Seahawks fan. There's a couple of McIntosh, what's that guy's the running back from the Georgia Bulldogs when they were there, when he was there. He's on the Seahawks. I think a couple of more guys, like 2 guys from Georgia Bulldogs are on the Seahawks. But yeah, not a Niners fan. I'm from California, but I like the Seahawks. I just served with the Coast Guard up in Washington State. I actually liked Washington State too, so that's just yeah.
Right. There's
I like
some
the Falcons.
that
I like the
just like
Falcons too
play.
when they had Michael Vick.
Yeah, I can understand.
They had Warwick Dunn too at that time. Warwick Dunn. He's fun to watch with Michael Vick when the Falcons had him. Buccaneers had him too, but
Yeah.
after that he went to Warwick Dunn, the little running back dude. Pretty quick dude. Kind of remember like a mini Barry Sanders.
Who is Grady
Interesting.
for?
What was
Grady.
that?
It's his name, Tom Grady. Who is
Tom
he?
Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah.
Brady.
What you think about him?
Who does he play for?
He's retired now. He was a long time quarterback for the New England Patriots. Multiple Super Bowl champions, different titles and accolades. But then he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and took them on, and he won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. I think he had like 6, 7 rings.
Wow. I was thinking Florida, but yeah, he's a good player. Or was.
But Tampa Bay, he finished his career in Tampa Bay, which for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is in Florida.
Didn't he retire and then decide to go to them?
Kind of, sort of. It was like that announcement. It was kind of weird, you know. I mean, of course, for whatever it's worth, you know, people watch these players, these teams, and then somebody like that to do what he did for a franchise. You would, as a fan, ultimately as a fan, you would like to see him retire there. You know, you don't want to see your longtime star quarterback, you know, as a fan play for somebody else, you know, another team, another divisional opponent. So it was kind of like a weird situation, whatever it was. But yeah. And then he had a teammate, Rob Gronkowski. He was the tight end. They won a lot of championships together. Yeah, he said he retired and then he came back, and he went to Florida. He went down there with Tom, and they won another Super Bowl allegedly. But yeah, that's your
Yeah.
sports news you can't use, everybody.
Yeah, Tom
That should go on
Brady's
Sports Jeopardy.
Tom Brady's now the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, no doubt.
He's a manager too, so he could get the draft picks and sell draft picks too. He pretty much runs the Raiders now. The good old
Wow.
Oakland Raiders, now Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
He's a Cali guy too. He's from San Mateo, Bay Area. I don't really follow the Bay Area too much; just too expensive. More of a Sacramento guy, Highway 5 guy. But yeah, he's from the Bay Area, expensive Bay Area.
Hmm.
Yeah, Tom Brady wanted to go to the 49ers, but they didn't want him. They went with somebody else instead. So basically, you know, he always dislikes the 49ers for passing on him, you know, in the draft.
Could be. Could be. She could be kind of witchy.
Oh,
Who
wow.
knows? She put a spell on him.
You know, she's Brazilian. That his ex-wife is Brazilian.
Hmm.
Gazelle.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you look it up, yeah, she's a Brazilian.
Giselle. Who
What was
knows?
kind of sounds like a witchy name? What was the one in Louisiana? Marie.
The quarterback for New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Drew Brees. If that's the one you're referring to, he played for the New Orleans. He played for the he played for the Chargers for a bunch of years. Then he got traded. He went to New Orleans and set a bunch of records, won a Super Bowl, but he's retired now.
Oh, like recently, it's Derek Carr. He's from Fresno, but Derek Carr was with the Saints for like 2 years, I think. Last 2
Yeah.
years.
And they put him in early retirement. I don't know where he's at.
He's retired. He's back in Fresno.
Yeah, they'll give him like a nice little 7-figure commentary job.
Oh no, he had a big old contract with the Raiders and also the Saints.
Yeah.
So he's not a poor man. He's a rich man.
Shoot, they give me a 7-figure check just to talk about it. Shoot, you know.
Right.
Oh no, he made much more than 7 figures for his 12 years of.
All right, maybe 8. We got to start with 8. You know,
Yeah.
7's too lucky and too round. We need it to be rounder.
Yeah, he had a brother named David Carr back in 1999-2000. He played for the Houston Texans. He was drafted, but he wasn't as good as Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I can't get used to that name yet. Houston Texans.
South Texans.
Yeah. That's what they say. I don't know. That's what some people have said, Bonnie. They say the only true Texans are from Houston. I wouldn't say that, but, you know, in some circles, I don't know. Who are these people?
I
San
remember the
Antonio.
Oilers.
Yeah.
And
The Texas Oilers.
yep.
I think they moved to Tennessee. They became the Tennessee Titans.
San Antonio should get a football team. The Seattle Seahawks were thinking of moving to San Antonio, but
Yeah,
I think
couldn't handle it.
Didn't they at one time have a? Let me look, because for some reason that sounds familiar.
one of the owners of Texas bought the Portland Trailblazers team, which is owned by Jody Allen, which also owns the Seattle Seahawks. So now, yeah, some Texas billionaire now owns the Portland Trailblazers.
Knew I should have bought into that franchise when I had a chance.
Yeah, Portland, man, it's Seattle Seahawks left for a reason, man. It's
Small
cool.
window, you know. Very small window to capitalize on.
Vancouver Grizzlies are now the Memphis Grizzlies. They might move back to Vancouver because Vancouver's a bigger market than Memphis is, because there's, you know, the Atlanta Hawks are right next to are so close to Memphis Grizzlies that it doesn't make sense. The Pelicans, the New Orleans Pelicans, they might move to like Seattle because they're similar to the Hawks, or
Yeah.
Seahawks. I mean, so
I knew
yeah.
the owners of the New Orleans Saints, so they don't exist anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah, the New Orleans Saints still exist. Yeah, that's a professional NFL team.
Yeah. So San Antonio did. They weren't NFL, but they had the San Antonio Gunslingers, was an indoor football league, and the San Antonio Toros in the Continental Football League.
Oh, Continental.
I knew I heard something football in San Antonio.
Yes, the reason why the Texas wants 3 teams is because Florida has 3 teams, the California has 3 teams, and New York has 3 teams. So they got to beat them or tie them for having 3 teams, which would be cool. I mean, that's actually a good thing. But the team that might be moving out of the country though is Jaguars, Jacksonville Jaguars. They're owned by an English owner. He wants to move them to England.
Oh, I have a really good video about the UK. Short. They are not being quiet over there. That's all I'll say. I think protesting does work if it's done right.
Yeah, I think they wanted to not like the majority of the people wanted to stay with the European Union, Europe, and they ended up separating. I guess now they want to go back. I'm not sure. I mean,
Yeah,
Europe's like, go ahead, buddy.
Something about it. They were tired of being divided, and they were not divided. And I'm talking millions of people out there on those streets. They were all getting along and just flying their flags, and it's pretty cool. We're not
Go ahead, buddy.
The United States is not organized. Have you noticed that? We're like all over the place. These other countries, they're organized.
Yeah, I mean, California's tried to succeed or separate from the United States, but in my opinion, it'd be crazy to do because they would get probably taken over by the Mexican cartel, which is very smart. I know they really have ties to Mexico, but still, we need the federal dollar still. I mean, so just because, yes, we're probably the 12th largest economy or whatever, but that's like just a fake number because California's kind of pretty much moved to South Texas. So, I mean, it's not as strong as it once was. So now we're making you guys, the next fake 12th largest economy now, to where it's like a mirage. It looks like it's a big economy, but it's really not,
Exactly. Yeah.
Next is Georgia. We're coming for you, Watt. South Georgia has some nice weather.
Texas
more traffic.
Also, but same. I think that Mexico would take it over, possibly, but I don't know. But yes, there's a lot of Californians, and there's a lot of you can tell when they're on your city council or when they're involved with the state legislature. You can tell they said they wanted to get away from that, but it's so ingrained, I think, that the thinking is still there. And
Come on, Michael.
Greetings. I hope everyone's doing well. I apologize for last night. I got that phone call I was expecting.
Oh no, it happens. Never no apologies needed here. Things happen, you know. It's all good. I may or may not get a call at some point, so I'll just put that out there. You know, if I get gone, y'all just handle it. You know, I don't know how long y'all can handle it. I don't know how long. You know, if the host gets kicked, I don't know how long it runs before. You know, I don't know. Was it 15, 20 minutes? I don't know. Whatever the cutoff is.
Well, I think what if the host, because I've been on us not on but or yeah on panels with other YouTubers that stay on, and they actually just ask panel members to stay on, and they can't bring up other people on panel, but they could keep on going. I think there was a guy, I think it's Scott Free something in Canada. He was trying to beat the record. He was trying to go like 32 days without stopping. Just
Oh my
clock.
goodness.
Oh yeah, I think he might have beat it. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you could just stay on the host seats basically. You'll just ask another panel member to take his spot. And it's crazy.
I think if it's over 12 hours, YouTube won't show anything after the 12-hour mark. I think.
No,
I'm not.
this dude was on for
But that's
32
like a
days.
live. That's like a live in general. I was just speaking like if the host gets kicked, I don't think it would just keep running. I think there's like a shut off. You know, I don't know.
I don't know.
May or may not.
There was a Thanksgiving that Carl and Silvergirl were talking, and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, they were still talking. And then we went all through that day till late Thanksgiving night. It was crazy. I can't do those marathon things. I have to sleep. But I didn't drop out or anything. So I don't know what would happen if you got a phone call. It seems like others have, and we would just keep talking until they came back. Sometimes it's a little hard to find your way back to your own life.
Who knows?
From what they say, but
I just saw this one channel. I think I don't know if they're still doing it or they just wrapped it up. He just did like a 35-hour marathon or a 36-hour marathon.
oh my goodness.
Gotta have the marathons. People like the marathons. Even if you ain't running, they want to see, somebody wants to see it running, Bonnie.
We lost Johnny. And
Oh,
his
man,
mind.
we lost Johnny, I was just about to announce we are in the marathon hour. At this point, if you're on the broadcast, you are officially locked in for the next 48 hours, you know. First 48 activated.
And his mic is working pretty good tonight.
Let the games begin.
Yeah, he actually had pretty good audio tonight, you know. I thought maybe it was just me. I didn't really want to say it, you know. As soon as I would acknowledge it, then it would, you know, Murphy's Law would kick in.
Right.
Oh, hell yeah. You know,
Bigfoot
give me the
monster.
Bigfoot monster truck, you know.
I'd need a ladder to get in it.
They got to drop down one of those fancy rope ladders, you know.
Have a good night, Ken. Being his internet's. Excuse me. All missed.
I know what you mean. Yeah, internet's being wonky.
Yep.
But you have a blessed night, blessed weekend. If y'all definitely enjoy your off time. I don't know what's happening in and around the area tomorrow. Something that's happening somewhere.
Oh, it's happening. I have to get up stinking early because we want to go early before it gets too hot. They're having a benefit. Got to go support.
There you go.
Probably go to the market and other places if the kids are okay. Get them back into.
Amy just rolled up in the powder blue Prius.
Oh, wow.
I think me and my wife's going to try to do some fishing tomorrow before it gets too hot. So we're probably going to do that pretty early.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I was thinking about going rafting, because right now the little one's at the grandmother's house, and she'll keep her, a good portion of tomorrow. So I'm thinking about doing that.
Yep. Enjoy it.
There you go. So you going white water rafting?
No, I ain't doing that. Coincidentally, though, here somewhere close to the area I live in is like a whitewater rafting. Well, I guess you wouldn't call it a mecca, but it's pretty well known. The New River Gorge. A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, come up in here and raft. I was out today, and I seen 15 different states' license plates in my little town here. Arkansas, Washington, New Mexico, just from all over the place. I think that's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely taking it up a notch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a pretty severe gorge. It's like 1,000 feet deep, I think, something like that. And they actually got a bridge across it, which is like one of the biggest arch bridges, or one of the highest arch bridges built on either the East Coast or the United States at the time it was built, because it was built in the 70s. But they got a little thing there where they do bridge jump day and stuff, and people go up there with parachutes and all this other stuff and jump off the bridge. And they got a little catwalk where you can walk out underneath the bridge and stand on these steel girders and stuff, and people do stuff like that. So, but I don't know. I'm not jumping off no bridge.
No way. I used to know some guys that would do that. They would be at a dance hall until it closed, and then on the way home, jump off a bridge. And I don't know how a lot of us are still alive.
It was bad. They say when it was bad, that's when you know it was bad.
One of my uncles does that, and he talked my grandmother into going down the Guadalupe and in a canoe, and it was her and her brother, and they were older. And the canoe flipped over, and she was trying to save her brother, and it It was bad too. She was bruised up all over the place.
Yeah, I don't go too much near the river here because it's notorious for killing people. I've actually been out
Yeah.
fishing and stuff, and I've seen people that's tipped over their boats and they're just, stuck in rapids and stuff.
Yes.
Pretty intense. Also here, allegedly, that river is, like I said again, allegedly, one of the oldest, if not the oldest river in either the world or in North America. And it actually flows backwards. So it flows north to south instead of down the other way.
Yeah. Well, the Guadalupe is the one that flooded so bad that y'all probably saw video of.
I tell you, I'd like to be where this picture is taken, this backdrop here.
I know. Isn't it so pretty?
Oh, yeah.
The moss hanging from the trees. Yep. If there wasn't gators, I'd be sitting on the end of that pier, my feet in the water.
Yeah, I don't do gators and stuff. Yeah. I had a friend that was Jamaican, and he grew up in Central Florida, Southwest Florida, and he is like, "Oh, I swim with them. They don't bother me, and you don't bother them." I said, "I'm not swimming with no giant lizard."
There you go. There's your whitewater rapids.
And they're in some pretty deep, some rough waters,
Yeah.
Looks pretty safe. Looks pretty fun, Looks like these people are pretty, looks like they're having a good time, fun time. They all got on their flotation devices, helmets, Guess the one person with a different color helmet, I guess that's like the leader. That's the chosen pack leader of this rafting expedition. I was with 4 Asian tourists who dropped their oars and laid on the. Oh man, yeah, and that's definitely one of those things. There's a lot of different things in life. We have this visual or this thing of how we expect it's gonna go, and then the reality of whatever these events may be. That's definitely one of them. If you're not the type of person that jumps into the deep end of a swimming pool, then maybe whitewater rafting. There might be some level ups. You got to do a few level ups before you get up there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever it may be. There's
Uh-oh. We lost Michael now.
some mass exodus, Bonnie. See, some people can't handle it. See, some people can't handle it. They say 2 and 4 panel versed members cannot handle the whitewater rapids. We survived. This was tonight's episode. It was a game. Nobody knew it was going to be a game, but ultimately it played out to be that way. The 2 lone survivors so far. It's fascinating. The 2 people with the odds are probably having some of the crappiest internet because all our stuff gets toe tagged and everything, and we survived.
Yep.
Well,
Right, Cheryl.
pretty sure the link's still pinned, so feel free. Come one, come all. You know, what are you thinking about? What are you seeing?
Is Jerry saying the Deliverance Run in North Georgia?
What's Jerry saying? Jerry's always dropping some factoids. Where's he at? Missed it. Yeah, there you go. He said he'd love to do a Deliverance Run in North Georgia. Yeah, that's where that movie was filmed. That
Oh,
I forget, there was a handful of Burt Reynolds movies that was around that type of time. But yeah, North Georgia.
well, that's not a very good image for Georgia. I mean, I thought it was like
Got you
somewhere
talking about it, you know, it got you talking about the thing, you know.
like Arkansas or something. I don't know.
You know? It's a tale of a beautiful migrant family that came to the northern foothills of Georgia. You know? People of North Alabama got confused one night. You know, they thought they were going back home to North Alabama, and ultimately they migrated. You know, they were a migratory people. They were nomadic, and they yeah. I mean, you know, I can't back any of these particular claims up, but if you want to run with them, run with them. Like they ran to Georgia.
Obedient child. Good to see you.
Hey, see what I'm saying? We got confirmation. We got confirmation already, buddy. It's not too far from Blue Butterfly. Happy Friday. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Yep. Chattanooga. The mighty Chattanooga River. What do you think about it, Bonnie? You know what they say. You know what they say about the Chattanooga.
I don't.
Well, I can't say those type of things in an open forum. Can't say
Okay.
those type of things, unfortunately, in an open forum, Bonnie. Closed setting. We can negotiate. I may be thinking of a different one.
Okay, I'm not
Similar
going.
spelling, but a little different. You know, sometimes the script must be flipped. You know, sometimes you got to do a flash forward or flash back. No matter what you do, please be kind and rewind.
Chattooga, not Chattanooga.
See, I get them confused. Even me myself, you know, it's too many chai. You know, like, how do they have that many chai?
I don't
The
know.
Chattooga and the Chattanooga. Similar,
What it-
but totally different.
Whatever it is, I'm not going near it. So, is the Savannah River in Savannah?
It flows through Savannah. It's not necessarily entirely in Savannah. It runs down. It's the separating line between Georgia and South Carolina for the most part.
Hmm.
And it flows down and it spills out near Savannah.
Okay.
Ultimately, it was I forget the specific spelling right off the top of my head, but ultimately the river and ultimately those surrounding areas were named for particular people that inhabited that region for a while. And I forget the spelling or how it broke down, but ultimately it was translated or converted ultimately like Savannah as we know it, you know. And not to be confused with the Chattahoochee, you know. Don't think the Chattahoochee still ain't out there. It's low, but it's still hotter than a hoochie coochie. That's what Alan Jackson would say, and it is
But
true.
did you lay rubber on the Georgia asphalt?
You're damn right. I lay Georgia on the rubber asphalt.
Yeah.
Yep. Raise a little hell, you know, the whole thing, you know. That thing. Oh yeah, dude. I was laying drag back when drag was, you know, you could still say drag. And I don't even think you could say drag anymore. It's back in the 1900s, bro. 1900s. I can really technically I can wear a shirt that says I survived the 1900s because I did, you know, I did that. wouldn't be totally false. You know, it's not like 100% mozzarella over here. You're getting the full Mott's.
Right?
I was looking at some things today, and the oldest person ever recorded verified was a French woman that was born in I think it was 1870 something. She died in 1997. So she was
Goodness.
100. Yeah, she was 122 years old or something like that.
That
And the
was a
oldest
difficult
woman,
time period to be alive.
well, the oldest woman alive in 2026, when I started looking into it, is a woman. She was born in 1909. So she's like 116 right now, 117.
Wow.
And she came up in like the Depression era and then made it all the way to this. Yeah, that's an interesting timeline.
Well, she
Or
was an
anytime like
adult.
you have those people that live longer lives where they, you know, they were born in the 1800s and came to the 1900s or whatever it may be. You know, I mean, that's our closest, you know, historical marker that we can relay off of. But yeah, it's interesting. Oh man,
Yeah, well, it is very interesting because if you look at the changes from 18 something to 1970, anybody that was alive then saw some pretty severe changes, a lot like what somebody
that's saying,
born
yeah.
1940 to now, 1910, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Well, even the early 1900s, like the change, that's when the drastic changes were taking place. Everything.
Saw this one video. And I thought it was pretty interesting, and I didn't even, you know, of course, you never really know what you're going to talk about when you're talking about everything and nothing, but talking about people from different periods. I posted on my the community tab or whatever the heck they call it now. You know, the place over there where you post the things. Uh,
Yes.
Posted a video where this guy allegedly, this is his channel. He goes out allegedly and finds like I don't know, certain videos or whatever. I don't know if he does the but anyway, he plays a video that's been like restored, and it was interviewing these people. I don't know, and maybe like the 30s, maybe the 40s, maybe, and they were. Yeah, it was interesting hearing those people that was born in like the late 1800s, and then they had made it to then. You know, different things that they were saying, and I don't know whether the video is real itself. You know, I don't 100% know, but you know, whether it is or it isn't, I found it interesting.
I So do you remember Sonic the Hedgehog and the Eggman, the guy with the crazy mustache?
Yeah. I remember I came up in the 90s during all that type of stuff. Yeah, Sonics and the Marios, and yeah.
Yeah, so I ran across the video similar to what you're talking about, and it was a video supposedly from 1929 that had been remastered or whatever. And there was a guy that looked like that Eggman guy off of Sonic with the crazy mustache, and uh, he was saying at the time he was like 97 or 100 or whatever it is, but they were talking about being Civil War veterans and all these various different
It might have been the
things. And
same video I reposted earlier. You know what I mean? It
well, it
sounds
might have
like it.
been. They were
Yeah, the
all
dude
like
was,
sitting at this
yeah.
house out on the lawn.
Yeah, the guy was talking about how at the tail end of the Civil War, and he fought and like he came back from the Civil War and went to Missouri, and he fought in that particular battle, and he was like, yeah, just never stopped fighting. You know, we went over there and beat the Dutch's tail. We took no prisoners.
That's the same
Hmm.
exact video I ran
Oh, that's
across
crazy. I
myself.
just reposted it earlier. I found it. I think I seen it a while back, but then I just, you know, how videos resurface, you know. But yeah, I just reposted that video. It's got that, and it's probably a montage of other ones. I don't know if it's that one in its entirety, but it shows a couple different women speaking, a couple different guys speaking. I think a couple of the characters was from allegedly from the state of Georgia. Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
whatever it looks like that channel, that's what that channel does. It goes around and finds videos or Or where they'll add like color, however they do the color thing. You have those old like black and white just still videos. Those rusty old, like black and white movie type stuff, and they go like digitally restore and whatever, and add color to it. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You think about it. Unless you had some type of advertisement or some type of production, uh, pictures and stuff like that wasn't like that. It wasn't how you saw it. And now look at how fast forward now we are with shoot. It looks too real. How can this image and this thing look too real?
Yeah.
It's it's fascinating. It's outpaced and warp speeded past our own reality and perception. Our own reality and perception isn't even good enough anymore. We need 4K. We need 8K. We need 10K with a 10G. It's crazy. You don't even know what color the flamingos are anymore unless you see a video with the flamingos. What color was the flamingo again? Did a giraffe have spots or was that a zebra? Where are these things? Where can we view them? I don't even know.
No, Kim. I saw more of it in Mississippi, but didn't you say that they do reenactments or something in Georgia?
Yeah, you got to know where you're going. Everywhere's got history. Every town, every road, there's something that happened everywhere. But they've got different websites, different markers. You can track you can go on like road trips and just track that. If you want to track different battle markers, battle scenes, when things are in season, those type of reenactments. Yeah, you can go on that whole thing. Uh, but yeah, there's always something to be seen. Uh, but yeah, they have several of them here in Georgia, different times of the year. Uh, most of your bigger ones they're like during the fall. Of course, I guess whatever reenactment or however close to close and stuff are, it's better, especially in the South. You know, I
Yeah.
know they wore what they wore whenever they did what they did, but for a reenactment, yeah, they're passing out. Like, oh man, this is real. These people are literally passing out. Oh, it's just too hot. This dude's got on 6 layers of wool. What did you think was going to happen?
Right.
Humidity's at 95%. We're sitting at 97, and this dude's got on a flock of wool.
Well, and back in the day, you'd have had people out there with infection, and I'm sure people drink now and do it, but uh, it's just crazy because I was talking about that change and stuff, and you think about how much just warfare stuff has changed. We went from unrifled barrels and muskets and powder to jets with lasers on them in no time really.
Yeah.
I
Drones.
don't understand anything that I've said up to this point. That is even more interesting. Anybody, really.
Who would have ever thought of drones? And now they're everywhere. They use them in light shows and everything.
Yeah. How about that? Back in the 90s, they used to tell the kids, oh, what are you going to do with the video games? It's not like you're ever going to get paid for playing the video games. Now look, now there's the whole, that might have been the one thing that you could say got debunked. Everything else might have went to a certain left or a right, but now you got e-gaming, it's in high schools, college. I think it's even going to be in the 2028 Olympics, you can get a gold medal in e-gaming. However they're going to do that, I don't know. But yeah, certain things, or even just with drones, if you're for different, whatever aspect, it's just like a video game, really, a joystick. If you came up in the digital age, it transcends pretty easy.
Well, me personally,
Yeah.
Like I've voiced before, I think we're at a point now to where we're getting to be so advanced that if something doesn't naturally, kind of do a lot of stuff and set us back or whatever, then we're going to kill ourselves with the technology.
Yeah.
If you were a transformer, which vehicle would you transform into? What would be your vehicle of choice if you were a transformer?
Bumblebee.
I would be Hot Rod or the original Bumblebee.
There you go.
Maybe I would be what was that one? Megatron before he was a tank. When he was like a cannon.
Fighter jet or something, or whatever he was.
No, that's Starscream. I remember a lot of this stuff because my dad was a huge fan of Transformers and Thundercats and G.I. Joe and I personally never really,
Optimus Prime.
well, I never really personally liked it as a child, but my dad, he would just be the one that had control of the TV. Whatever he wanted to watch is what I had to watch. So,
yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, I don't like a lot of those cartoons, even now and stuff, because you think about like He-Man and Thundercats, and it's a lot of like, I mean, I know it seems whatever, but it's like, muscly, shirtless guys in a loincloth and tight fitting outfits, and and you think about G.I. Joe, and it's just a lot of filth, really, like Conan the Barbarian and stuff, like half naked women. And I know a lot of people like that, but the closer I get to Christ, the more that I disdain stuff like that. I don't really like the moral depravity. But if somebody chooses that, whatever, I'm not gonna force nobody to do anything because God don't do that. But me personally, I just don't like it.
He-Man Woman Haters Club. That's probably a different affiliation. They probably ultimately had the downfall in He-Man. It's like, hold on, we got to revamp this and bring it back. It's getting too much of a bad rap. Let's bring it back and redo it and make it worse and give it even worse a rap. I don't think the rap's bad enough. It's like bubble wrap that doesn't pop. That's horrible. It's just horrible stuff.
He-Man. I loved He-Man. Castle Grayskull.
The crazy thing is how much that those original toys go for now.
Yeah, a lot.
People with money pay for nostalgia, whatever that may be. A toy. There's the list is endless. Everybody could name a thing. People want that nostalgia or something that they had at one time. A lot of times we didn't see it right then. If might have we might have had one of those items or whatever it might have been. We might have seen it. You don't ultimately know how big or somebody might want it, but yeah, and a lot of them.
You also don't know how weird some of the stuff some people get into is. Like for instance, there's a metal artist, heavy metal. I can't remember if he's like, I don't know if it's Marilyn Manson or the guy from Cradle and Filth or what it is, but he was doing a tour of his house one time, and he has like human remains in the floor with like a glass box over top of it. it's a skeleton or something that he had purchased, I guess, from a museum. I don't know what it was, but he said he liked to look at it while he cooked and stuff and ate.
Yeah, that'd be too much for me. It might work for him, but that'd just be a little too much for me
Right?
in my life right now at this particular moment,
Kind
Yeah,
of
oh, yeah.
especially while you're cooking, it's just, hey, what's up, Ralphie?
Yes.
Whoever it was, it had to be a person. I don't know if it would, I don't know whatever the circumstances, I don't know if it would have just been like a John Doe or, one of those instances where like nobody's there to claim. I don't know. I don't know what the circumstances are,
Well,
or
I'm
even
not sure
or
either.
even where there's a person, there's a person that can find you a person for that. Hey, you want a mummy? Yeah, we'll get you a real authentic mummy that you could just have plexiglass in your pool. You could just see this mummy as you're swimming around in the pool.
Oh my gosh. No.
Well, a lot of people nowadays would probably like that because
Yeah, you're
my
right.
wife scrolls on Facebook and stuff sometimes, and I don't have Facebook and stuff, but she scrolls on Facebook and shows me, what people talk about and popular and this and that. But a lot of people nowadays like to decompose stuff all the way down to the bones and stuff in jars, and so there's a lot of people that would probably get into that nowadays. But you think about the society we grew up in, let's say from like 1984 till now, not even 1984, but that's just being generous. And by that, I mean like Hollywood movies and this and that. When the number one genre of a movie almost becomes like a slasher horror flick, and everybody likes Art the Clown and Chucky and all this stuff, it's only a wonder how people aren't more insane than what they are, really.
Well, I didn't watch any of those, so maybe it helps.
Good night, Jerry. You have a
Night.
blessed night and a blessed and productive weekend.
Yes.
Just like anything, it's just like what we invite in, or what was it? In a lot of vampire movies, when you watch the vampire movies, what does it show them have to do? They have to, the vampire can't enter that threshold. That the person or the host has to invite them in. I'm pretty sure if y'all watched a vampire movie, you've seen that circumstance.
Yeah.
Whatever the situation may be, we have to invite it in. And even if we invite it in as a host, how graceful and how hostful are we? How much are we taking in? We may acknowledge that this evil exists, but I think it's for, if you want to take it for people that want to take it further or whatever it may be, you don't ever even have to let it in the door. You don't ever even have to acknowledge it, but definitely gets tricky, anytime you get on the internet, if everything's one click or one swipe away,
Yeah.
whatever it may be, a horror flick or a horror news flash, whatever it may be.
Well, I liked the old ones because they weren't so gory. The vampire,
Good example.
like the vampire movies, they would just she'd be
Just a
bitten.
little neck bite,
She's his. Frankenstein. He was slow. Just outrunning.
Oh yeah. He ain't jumping off top of buildings with superhuman speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
someone,
You're out running him on a skateboard.
if someone got shot, you didn't see all the it was just they would just grab that spot on them and fall over, and now they got to make it hit the camera almost. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's got to jump out at you. It's got to come through the screen. You got to feel it.
And so it is the more it becomes a reality, like you're there. I don't know. To me, it seems like dangerous ground.
Well,
Can be.
absolutely, to a degree. Because you got to think a lot of the way society is driven as a whole is by psychology. Because if you keep people happy and you give people happy and you give them what they want and you entertain them and you keep them fat and lazy,
Yeah.
then they never really look
Bread
at
and
what's going
circuses
on
work
around them.
wonders, funny.
Right. But the thing
Yeah.
is now you've gotten to the point to where children can sit in a room and they can hate the house they're in, hate their parents, whatever, be mad if they choose whatever, and they can kill or take out whatever kind of anger they have on, violent video games. And for instance, like GTA, if a child's mad and they want to run over a hooker, they can run over a hooker or, whatever. Um, and it's just crazy the way that the world's turning. And, people are getting very violent with each other. You think about the road rage clips and stuff that circle around and stuff, and people just losing
Yes.
their minds spending on the internet.
Well, I think that all of that desensitized people to life. Like, death is just another thing. It's like it took the value of life from them or something. And I think that's why we hear of so many just kids taking out their grandmother or their parents or whoever. And also the psychological part of it where even the schools, like, well, when they started the emancipation, you don't like your parents, divorce them. And so what
Yeah,
happened?
divorcing your parents. That's crazy. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, yes, I guess it's a thing.
What happened to honoring your father and mother?
I
Well,
tried that once. I filled up one of those back in the day. I don't even know how I got it. It was like one of those little plastic Lego buckets. It was about 5 gallon size buckets. So I don't even remember what led up to the point or what happened or what the disagreement was. But I told my mom, I said, "All right, I'm running away." She said, "Oh, really? You're just gonna run away, huh?" And I said, "Yep." She said, "Well, where are you gonna go?" I said, "I don't know." She said, "Well, you got to take stuff. What are you gonna take?" And I said, "Well, I'll take my bucket." So I don't even remember. I put some things in the bucket, and she faked and gave me a sandwich and some snacks to take. She was like, "Well, if you're going, you got to take this food and stuff with you." So
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, our driveway was probably like about a mile long. I probably made it to the end of the driveway and realized the heck with this running away stuff. I was unemancipated, re-emancipated at that time. I still ate the sandwich and stuff when I got back. I needed it. That was a long walk. That was 2 miles for nothing.
Yeah.
But I did the same thing back when I was in high school. I graduated in 2007, but we did the same thing. We did the frogs, the worms, the giant grasshoppers, the fetal pigs. The different things. I'm like, where the heck did they get these? Man, these earthworms was like as wide as a big lighter. Like where the heck are they getting these things from?
Right.
Grasshoppers the same way. They're like a dang, like a Swiss roll cake, like a little Debbie Swiss roll cake. Where the heck are they getting these from? These are like locusts. This is what brings on the plague. Like,
I think it was the
well,
formaldehyde. They
oh yeah,
soaked it
uh,
in or something.
that's it. It didn't really bother me, but yeah, whatever that juice was they had in it, yeah, that wasn't too friendly on the nose.
No.
you look at the way that society has changed alone from, let's say, 2007, 2008, 2009 till now. Okay. And you think about the participation trophies for children and all these things that's going on. You can't discipline your child or it's abuse. And all these different things. So children are basically at a point to where they, for the most part, overrun their parents, or and you think about today, everybody asks their child, they say, hey, what do you want to eat? But like I've told you before, my dad was raised by older people and I never had a choice. He said, hey, this is what's for dinner, you either eat or you don't.
Yes.
um that's a good thing, because that,
And if you put it on your
even,
plate, you better finish it.
well, even if you do have means to eat other stuff or whatever, it's still a good thing, because nothing's guaranteed or promised. So if you ever fall on times to where you have to eat what you eat, you're not going to whine and complain about it. You're just going to eat it. So it's a
Right.
good thing. And you think about the degradation of morals. So to me, it's a spiritual problem, because I believe in Jesus Christ. So the Bible
Mhm.
says, because iniquity abounds, the love of many will wax cold. Well, what do you see now? You see everybody in the world defending sin. They defend everything that the Bible says is not necessarily good. So it's another scripture, calling good evil and evil good. Um, so that's where we're at. When the love of many wax cold, that means violence comes out inevitably.
Yeah. Looks like it's headed that way. I know. I watch my little grandkids and I'm like, man, I just I don't understand it. I mean, I know they go through a period when they're about 3 years old where they get a little picky, but don't let them have control. It's just another way of them trying to test the waters to see how much control they have. And it seems that the children have a whole lot more control in the homes now than they used to over everything. What's on the TV, what's on the dinner plate, whether it's takeout, what they wear, the clothes they wear.
I mean, heck, at some point you got to say, heck, it's not by coincidence. And heck, what do you expect when a lot of times when they turn it on and every adult that they view on whatever platform that's supposed to be a pillar or someone to look up to is a complete just lunatic. Everything they look on TV. Then you just incorporate the whole degradation and separation of whatever it may be. Fathers without homes, separate families. It's a lot of different things. You got to incorporate um, in
Right.
these type of things, and it's just all that flows into it. Just the convenience factor. Swipe left or swipe right now. If you don't like it, if you want it, you can either swipe left or swipe right. You'll never see it again, or it'll get delivered straight to your door. All you got to do is swipe left or swipe right. Swipe or
Yeah.
no swiping.
Well, and also, you're at a point now, because it's no coincidence that we went from TVs that didn't have remotes to TVs that had remotes to TV that was accessible and everybody had cable, to satellite TV, to TV now where you can stream anything and you don't need to watch an ad, because it's like entitlement. There's a lot
Yeah.
of people here in this country that whine and complain about the country they live in. And I know there's some bad things this country does, but right now in this country, people have access to technology. Even poor people normally have access to technology that, 50 years ago, all the money in the world couldn't buy you.
But look at how
And
destructive it is. And I think that was the plan because now everything has a remote. Your ceiling fan, your bed, this bed that mama
Speaking
bought.
of remote, we're gonna take a time out and we're gonna take a pause, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Welcome, Ronald. Ronald to the stage. How are you, Ronald? Ronald, are you with us? Welcome to Watts World. I don't think Ronald's with us. Let's see here. Alpha. Alpha. Welcome to Watts World. How are you, Alpha? You tuned in? You tuned out? You turned up? What's going on? I don't know. Maybe it's the internet issues.
Or
What's on your mind? What's on your heart? I guess they didn't have a mind or a heart. I don't know. Maybe they weren't honor able or trust able. Either way,
Yep.
just have to be aware and acknowledge everything that's going on, you know.
Testing
But
the waters.
anyways, feel free. Come one, come all. You know, bring your A game, whatever it may be. You know. I don't know.
Right, Scrimshaw. Mhm.
2 new character unlocks. I was hoping they had a voice, but sometimes it's like some people, you know, there's a body. Sometimes just throwing a body at it, you know, just throwing a person at it does no good, you know. You have to be the right fit. You got to know what's going on. You got to be able to add, I guess, you know, some value. You know, value doesn't always have to be money. It doesn't always have to be physical. It could be mental, whatever it may be, you know. Has to be some type of value, I guess. Nothing else, I guess, purely entertainment wise, you know. Who knows these things?
Mm.
Well, you look, and you, when you really look and really look into what one of the biggest things the United States really exports, because we don't really export a lot of stuff like people would think. It's mainly imported. You know, like for instance, oil. You know, we do drill a lot of oil here, but the oil that we have here is too thick and sedimented, and it actually takes a little bit more money than what it's worth to actually turn it into gasoline or diesel. Um, a lot of people don't talk about that, but
Then what are
um,
the refineries for?
uh,
Because we have a lot of refineries here in Texas.
yes, but gasoline and oil is not the only products that petroleum makes. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of products. So
Right.
we actually make other
Not
products like
prescription.
plastics and you know, rubber, um, you know, stuff like that, tar. But anyway, one of the biggest things that we do export is entertainment. So you take a country that was at one time the land of the free and home of the brave, and communities were a big deal, and everybody looked out for everybody and everything, and you turn them into a bunch of heartless jesters, because that's what it is. You know, entertainment is really the big thing, because I don't know anybody that don't go a day without entertainment, really. Um, and it's like any other thing to a degree. I would classify it as like a addiction or a drug, because you can have an unhealthy relationship with something just the same as you can with drugs, but you don't necessarily experience the same physical side effects, but it's still the same concept to a degree. People, you take a phone out of a child's hand now and you tell people to take it away and watch and see how much of a tantrum they throw, or
And
how
now,
lost.
yep.
But uh, you know,
So,
there's a lot of stuff that actually happens that nobody talks about, like the 600 some thousand children that go missing each year in this country. Um, you
yeah.
know, the child abuse. As a matter of fact, pretty close to where I live, and I actually used to live in that area, but I moved to where I'm at now. There was a woman that was either having a schizophrenic episode or she was on drugs. I live in West Virginia, so probably drugs. I'm not sure. I can't judge that. But what had happened is that she got on top of her toddler, like 5 or 6 year old, and was screaming and yelling, saying she had a demon in her and was ripping her teeth out. And that sort of stuff happens so much more than what people would think. And my heart really goes out for children. Um, you can, when you read comments online, especially of younger parents, when you see what the way that people consistently talk, you can tell what's in their heart because that's a principle from the Bible. Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. So when you really hear what somebody consistently says or talks about, they can try and lie or whatever, but the fact of the matter is just that what they're talking about a lot is in their heart, and it's actually, that's the truth right then in that moment. It don't mean necessarily that they're not redeemable or whatever, um, but yeah, it's not good out here in the world.
Well, that's why I think the elderly people are so important because, especially the ones who have grown up without all this and can take the kids out and show them all the cool things that God created. The insects, the kids love the insects. They love rocks. They love seeing the birds come up to the feeders. The gardening, playing in the dirt, helping to do that. And, even people who have grown up with one parent and that parent having to work all the time, there was usually an elder that would step in and help raise that child. And
We just
that's
ship them off. We just ship everybody off now. We don't agree with them, or we don't like them, or they get too old. We just ship them off, buddy.
That's sad.
We're exporting everything, even our own family members. We just export them into a nice, comfy retirement place. Not everybody, but
Well,
certain societies, certain pockets.
yes. And one of my kids said that in anger, and I was like, okay, keep talking that way, and we're going to have a problem. I mean, I don't know. But yeah,
So,
one of my friends, her kids, if they get mad at her, they send her to I guess it'd be some sort of a mental facility or something, and say that she's whacked out. And she spends the night, they send her home. She's not whacked out.
Oh.
But that's her. And I'm like, your own kids are doing this. And you're what? And so now she's afraid to do anything to make them mad because they'll ship her out.
Crazy.
I'm not walking on eggshells for my kids.
that's the shift I was talking about. You see, at some point in the late 90s, early 2000s, that's when all this stuff started to, it really started a little bit before that. But, um, you know, I remember growing up, and I'm only 31, but my dad would tell me stories of how I had it lucky because his grandpa, because his mom died when he was 13, so he lived with his grandparents. But he said that his grandpa would whoop him with a switch and all this other stuff and everything. Um, and he did occasionally, I guess, sometimes use a switch on me and various other things. Sometimes because I need it, because sometimes I would either buck up or overstep my bounds, or just being young and naive and foolish. But anyway, um he would tell me that it was becoming a problem because when he was dealing with like places, because at one time he was going to send me to military school because I was actually quite the handful, a little bit more than average. It was a pretty severe case. I wouldn't go to school. I refused to go to school. I was, you know, screaming, yelling, saying a lot of things I shouldn't have said, and getting up in, uh, people's faces and everything. But anyway, the fact of the matter is CPS was telling him that if you discipline a child and you leave a mark, or I mean, a severe bruise, I can understand is looking at that maybe as abuse, because there's a difference between disciplining a child and taking your fist as a grown man and hitting a child. That's completely different.
Yeah.
Um, but they was telling him that if you leave a red mark or anything, that CPS can get involved for child abuse, investigation and
Yes.
all this stuff.
That that's what ruined the discipline, when they said you could not spank your kids anymore. And
Yes,
even
and
now,
then go ahead. I'm
if
sorry.
I'm sorry. Even now, if they go to school and they have a scratch or anything, bruise, instantly you're being questioned.
And the
It's
flip
way
side
out
to
of
that,
hand.
well, the flip side to that is that a scratch or something can get you questioned as a parent. But in some places, in some states, counties, if you don't agree with your child's gender identity, then now all of a sudden they can try to impose themselves and make life harder for you.
They've taken away the parental consent. Yes.
That's also a scripture, because it says that there's going to come a time when the children are going to deliver their parents up to be killed. Now, you can't do that unless you have fully rebellious children, kind of like in that movie Children of the Corn, that just say, you know what, forget all the parents, let's just kill them all.
Yeah. Well, when I was growing up, we had to pick the switch, and it better be the right one or it was going to be worse. It was usually a peach tree switch. And we knew it. And so how often did that happen? Maybe twice. I mean, it works. And that's then here come, who was it? Dr. Spock. Oh, you're traumatizing these children and by spanking them, and then it became a whole big thing. And I really think that a lot of things that are in the Bible are to guide us, and that's all been taken away. the spare the rod, spoil the child. I really believe that that's true, but it's not like you have to whoop them every night or, you know, I had a homemade paddle that one of my friends made me, and all I had to do was pick it up and they would straighten up like that. And even if I used it, it depended on the severity of the crime, how many licks they got. They never got more than 3 licks. And I'm not big, and I'm not, well, okay, maybe then I was pretty strong, but still, they didn't have any marks. They weren't scarred for life. I'll go.
The only thing that I kind of disagree with some of the older generation is disciplining children out of anger, because God don't discipline us out of anger. So I try to, whenever I get upset or whatever with my daughter, I try to calm down first, and then I'll talk to her and say, hey, I'm going to discipline you, and this is why I'm going to discipline you. But I don't try to do it when I'm mad, because I'm a grown man, and my dad actually would hit me in the back of the head, and my mom would actually hit me with extension cords and stuff. So
I didn't have a cookie sheet on top of one of my kids' heads. I mean, but he laughed. It didn't hurt him. It was a cheapo cookie sheet. But yes, I understand what you're saying. No, you don't discipline them when you're angry, because
that's abuse technically. Because what you're doing is taking out your feelings on the child.
Right. But there needs to be consequences for what they do. I had a son that would catch the house on fire, not just once. And then he tried to burn down a whole subdivision. It was...
Guess that's a good reminder. Check your fire extinguishers, ladies and gentlemen. Check them if you got them. Check them. Make sure they're up to date. If you don't got one, get one. What you think about it, Algo? How's your smoke detector, your fire extinguisher situation looking?
You know what, Life? I am up to date with all of my safety precaution measures.
Nice.
And I did want to say, hey, What Life? I know you've been streaming a ton. I've been lurking a lot, but I've been doing some work from home, so I haven't been able to either participate very much or join. But I saw you and I had a half an hour, so I'm like, I'm going to go say hi.
Good. You were here in spirit. I appreciate the watchers, the waiters, the lurkers, the participators. I appreciate and love all y'all. You know who you are.
And I did hear, I think it was Michael was talking about the rebellion and the Children of the Corn, which prompted me to click the link. One, that was the only movie, that and Candyman were the only 2 movies that actually ever scared me. But I think children can rebel in a way that is sometimes better for them, or because for my viewpoint is that when you raise a child, and I've had 2 families, not at the same time. I'm not that kind of guy, but I've been in 2 different family settings, and they're God's children, and we're just caretakers in the meantime. I mean, that's my view. And I think God puts these souls into these bodies, and we get to care for them, sometimes until they're 18, sometimes until, if they're the special needs kid, you're going to care for them for a long time.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I've had 2 family members close that I love tremendously die at 18. And they barely even got their life going. And that's, for me, if that's God's child that you're caretaking for, then I think seeing it, if you see it that way, then it's a different perspective. And it took my mom like forever until she was in her 70s for her to understand that about me, because I'm a rebellious spirit. If you tell me something, I'm doing the opposite. And if you tell me it's for my own good, I'm telling you get screwed. And we had a lot of conversations over all the time. I know Amy Malachi was scary as hell. He was horrible, but it took us a lot of conversations for her to gain my perspective that I wasn't hers. And she always thought I was her son, but I said, no, I'm God's child. God just gave me to you to take care of. And you've done a great job. And I've learned a lot, and I'm very blessed, and I'm thankful for you. And so that's my perspective. So when I hear things, and I don't judge anybody how they raise their children. Everybody's got different circumstances. Everybody has their own past they're dealing with. I don't judge any parent for anything unless they're really abusive or, heinous to them. But I don't think that your child is your child. I think it's God's child.
I actually agree. That's the way, it's kind of laid out. Because at the end of the day, if you're raising a child and you're trying to push them to be something specific or whatever, you're really manipulating them to do what you want them to do. But really, how many people actually consider the child's thoughts on things and this and that? And so there is a room for for the child to discover things on their own. But you have to draw the line at something that's potentially dangerous or what have you.
Sure. Yeah, you don't want them to hurt themselves because they're stupid.
That's
right.
what I was
Or you don't
trying to
want them to hurt other people.
Right, Michael, and like pageant moms who live vicariously through their children, or sports dads who live vicariously through their children. I know a lot of late teenagers who quit the sport because they never really loved it. They just did it to please their parents. And that's I mean, in some way it's kind of an abusive situation.
If they're forced to do it, yes.
Yeah, which a lot of the time they are. And the pageant kids turn out like Britney Spears and all the shit sorry, I don't know if you cuss here or what, but all of the crazy things that people get into. And I honestly think if parents really understood that it's not theirs, they don't own that. Yes, their bodies made it, but God is the one who put that into our systems to be able to do that. They might raise their children a lot differently.
Absolutely. And you can instruct them and guide them, but if they don't choose to listen to you when they're an adult, then they're not going to listen to you. And if you get mad because they're not listening to you, you're really mad because you've lost control.
Well, so there's a reverse to that also. Having one come to me and say that I was the worst mother ever because look at their life. And I had to tell them, any choice or decision you made after 18 years old is on you. You can blame me for everything before that, but up to that point, or when you ran away from home or ran off and got married, whatever it was, that's your choice, your decision, and anything that happened from those choices and decisions are on you, not me.
Yeah, absolutely. Only people that have a victim mentality, or and I'm not trying to offend anybody here, but I'm gonna be blunt, or a weak person mentally will sit and blame all their problems on other people. Because if you can't accept accountability, then you're not very mature. And life is a strange process, and we all mature at various times and different ages. But that's the whole thing. you're accountable for your own decisions. So, again, in the Bible, there's a part where Jesus will say that, he's not going to ask what they did to you. He's going to ask you what you did to them. Because you're the one that has the choice to act or react, however, and whatever you allow to flow through you is, your driving force at that time. So if somebody's always half cocked and angry, that means that there's a pit of anger inside that person. They're just always mad. They can't find, something to be happy about for too long. They're very volatile and stuff. And so you look at the exact opposite, and you look at somebody that's at peace with everything and content with everything and grateful for everything they have. And you see a much more humble, meek life where, you're like down to earth, but you're still full of wisdom and stuff.
Yeah, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Right? I think humility is probably a very underrated quality in people.
Humility, definitely. Humility is a big one, but also a big one really is, like you were saying earlier, rebellion. That's a big problem that a lot of people have. But also sexual immorality. When your whole entire life revolves around how someone looks, and that's how a lot of society, people get together, they don't even love each other, it's just out of lust. And then you have children, and now guess what? Because the parents got together foolishly because they were just attracted to each other for no other reason than appearance, the children have to suffer the fact that them parents are together, don't like each other, and a lot of things happen in a lot of households behind closed doors.
Sure.
They say that America is one of the most quote unquote mentally ill countries, and people here are a bit wonky and off.
No, you're not wrong. You look
I
around.
agree to that.
Yeah, just look around. You can look at the
Yep.
plastic surgery. You can look at the nonsense we do. I think, from my perspective, I think our system is set up to where you're either going to be relatively dark and you'll thrive, or if you try to be relatively decent, you're gonna struggle. And I think that brings out some of that mental illness in people.
Well, and also persecuted. Because when you tell somebody something that's absolutely true, they don't like it. That's why a lot of people will ask an opinion of somebody and say, well, what do you think? And if somebody tells them something negative, now all of a sudden that's a problem. Or if, for instance, if two people in a relationship and one person asks the other, hey, have you cheated? If they're not prepared to hear the truth that that person did cheat, they shouldn't have asked in the first place, because it's not really how humans work. All right, so you remember the game in elementary school where you start off and you say one thing and you tell it down the line of people, and by the time it gets to the end, it's completely different than how it started off. It's not even accurate.
Right.
That's how society works. That's just how society works.
That's an analogy. A cheater is a cheater. A perv is a perv. So I'm gonna ask. That was just a rule in my home. A man did not step foot in my. Actually, no adult stepped foot in my children's room for any reason. I mean, there was no reason for them to go into my children's rooms.
Yeah, so you kept them safe.
Yes.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
I-
It's
his
different.
primary job, but that yeah, that's not. I don't think that's what Michael was talking
It's
about.
different in open relationships. You got open relationships now, so it's different. It's been a while. 90s started the open relationships more. That changed
If
up,
you
but
want
yeah.
to, if you want to be technical, though, that whole thing started with the Summer of Love at Woodstock, like the actual public
Summer of
acceptance
Love
of.
one.
Huh?
Actually, a couple of them really. But anyways, go ahead. I yield.
What I was saying is that that whole movement, free love and this and that was a way people were expressing their sexuality in the 60s. And so they just evolved from there. Now you're at the point to where in certain states they have organizations called MAPS, MAPS, and that stands for minor attractive persons. And those are people that are in, like I said, various states that actually have that. Where I don't know if they've outlawed it. They might have outlawed. I don't know.
And
I
of
haven't
course, they
checked
would
on it.
call it maps. Of course, let's just give maps a bad name. We're already living in a confused, distracted, disconnected society that people don't even know where they're going if you hand them a map. So yeah, let's just call a good thing like a map that we need to know and use. Let's just give it that name.
Right.
Well, the real problem, aside from like all the immorality, is the lack of self-sufficiency, the lack of gathering, hunting, farming,
Common
knowing,
sense.
yeah, what people of the past used to call common sense, we call lost information.
Well, I think that's a new problem, of course, Michael. I agree with you, but I do wonder if people in the 1800s in a small town or in a big city, because we had some cities in the 1800s, I wonder if they were doing the same things. I couldn't rule out that they had open relationships. I couldn't rule out that they were cheating all the time. The human drive for physical pleasure is pretty
No.
high on the list, and
Oh yeah.
I do think that the whole fake culture creation of the 60s through Tavistock and the CIA did bring it into our current timeline to where there are some of us who were, I was born in the 60s, but I was a baby, but we have memories of it from video and movies and television and things like that. So it seems like it's like, okay, this was the thing or this was the thing. But I kind of wonder if it hadn't, most of this stuff's been going on all the time.
Well, it absolutely has, but the thing is that it was repressed. Okay, so I don't know if you believe in the Bible or not, and I quote it a lot, and I apologize to anyone that doesn't believe in it, but it's just my passion, and I'll speak about it. But anyway,
420, always good to see you, sir.
there's a passage where Jesus says that a man will stand on his own rooftops and shout his own secrets. Okay, well, that's where we're at now with social media. Everybody just constantly posts their complete, honest, open opinions for everybody to see, because there's a sense of opinionated and entitled. So back in the day, if a group of people wanted to have orgies in 1800s or whatever, they would normally try to keep that under wraps, because society then, granted, it still did happen, and there were still places where it happened kind of openly, but across the nation it wasn't broadly accepted. It just wasn't. There was a type of repression. Now, through that repression, then you get an explosion of self-indulgence, because people are always going to try to, fill those urges or whatever that they may have. And when they feel repressed, then they get rebellious.
That's been since the beginning of time. I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
Michael.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's never changed. It's just went through phases.
As for the 1967 Summer of Love. That was more substance trading or drug trading instead of like, status and money. Making like in the 90s was about status and money making, keeping up with the Joneses versus, the Summer of Love was just drug trading for sex pretty much and substance, make you feel high. You really didn't know where you were at when you were, going from relationship to relationship. But in the 90s, you did more. You knew, that those relationships, you knew you were in an open relationship. You were less on substances that were psychological, psychedelics. So that's why I'm just trying to say that the 60s was different. That's my parents' generation, but that was different from the 90s.
What's an open relationship?
Open. I mean, it just means
You
that it's
asking for a
open to
friend or you asking for
interpretation.
yourself?
I don't
What?
understand what an open relationship is.
That's a good one. What?
I guess even just like what is a relationship? Even that can mean different things to different people. Everybody's standards or their acceptance or their tolerance rates or their red flags is different. I guess generally it would just mean, if you and X party could do what you do, I guess whenever you want to do it, go to the movies or do this and that, but it wouldn't be exclusive, There may be a not just a Bonnie's, but there might be a Jenny's and there might be a Tammy's, whatever it may be. I don't know.
Got it.
Yeah,
Very
it's
common
basically
these days.
it's basically where people agree that they're going to share sexual partners outside of each other, and sometimes they agree to have multiple sexual partners together at once. So, but yes, he was right. The 90s was different because it went from being on hallucinogenic drugs, not knowing where you're at, having a blast, and just, doing what people do and having sex, to more deliberate. You think about the amount of households that had a whole complete family, mom, dad, children. Okay, you think about that from 1980, you get to the point to where it's 2000, 2002, 1990, and there's a significant drop in, families that actually are still families and together, not divorced and remarried, and, there's no dad, no mom.
Because you started having those digital algorithms and those digital safe places to escape. You had your chat rooms and all this and that. You could look at a book or you could talk about a thing, but ultimately all these things is, I think, in my opinion, are just building blocks or stepping stones, stepping up or stepping down. I guess it's like a heart pulse. You have these peaks and these lows, these crevices and these crannies, but the internet, it definitely opened that. Now you could, instead of just, I don't know, whatever it may be, now you can just chat with this person, and it just exploded into many different things, online communities, different things, being able to just see content, to, fast forward after Y2K to where we are now, with just everything. It is whatever you want to see, whatever you see and what you don't want to see, it's out there, whatever algorithm you may fall into or fall out of.
It's more like 1995. Remember Windows 95? After 95 is when Craigslist too is 96.
Yeah,
the Craigslist Personals Backpage, that was after 96
I
too.
was in the 90s, but I don't remember the 90s. All right, you caught me. You called my bluff, bro. I was 5 years old, dude. I didn't know what that was. I didn't even know what an ASL was. I probably thought it was something you could catch. I was trying to avoid it.
Which is always wise. I always want to avoid the ASL. No, and fair point. But I guess when I look at our timeline, I personally think that the destruction of the family started in the 60s. It was escalated in the 70s with feminism, the ERA. They destroyed the black community through the Civil Rights Act in the 60s. And so by the time we were in the 80s and 90s, we were into a program that nobody in there really knew what was going on. We were living our lives. They freed up the money in the 90s. Bill Clinton and the prosperity time was just putting currency into the system. So we all felt like we were rich. And then here comes 2001 when they said, okay, that to me, that's the declaration that the things are changing. And now here we are 25 years later looking around at this place, and it's like, it's crazy. I mean,
This
it's
is what
literally
250
crazy.
looks like, Algo. This is 250. This is 250 America.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's insane. And nothing on the horizon looks good. But the only reason I brought that up is if we're trying to talk about and understand what happened, I think that the versions they gave us, just like Johnny said, Windows 95, I had Windows 95. And I was hooked up to the internet in 1996 as an adult, because I'm kind of old, and it was a different reality. I think the timeline of when things happen is important. The family was probably broken down by the late 80s, like the nuclear family and to probably Michael would agree. If you're gonna destroy humanity, you have to break out the family, because in the book, the family is the thing. You're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. You're supposed to get married. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, I'm done.
You're also supposed to honor your mother and father, and you're supposed to respect elders. Which those are all good characteristics. But again, going back to what you were saying, to the fact that the child's not really yours, it's God put that spirit in that body, and it's really God's spirit or it's not God's spirit. So if that child is a different spirit or a different driving force, then that's just what they chose. You can't really get mad at people for choosing evil, because they make it so convenient and easy to choose evil that very few really can withhold and withstand with the help of Christ. But that's just my opinion.
It is. Think about it, like how easy it is now. And then different, I mean, you said different words that could ultimately, it's like when you see people put together those clips and they make an entire paragraph or video just out of various clips. But anyway, you think about, I don't know, I think about this video sometimes that I watched, and it was just a really simple video. It was a guy, he had 2 cups of water and a chopstick, and he said, pointed at this glass, and he said, would you say that this glass is clear? Everything looks clear and calm, and everybody was like, yeah. So he took the chopstick, and there was, I don't know, some type of solution or whatever in the bottom, and then it got cloudy. And then it was talking about the different things and everything that's going on. He said no matter how calm or still you may see, ultimately the things that pollute you, and man, I forget exactly how he worded it, but anyway, it just makes it's easier for children and stuff to do those type of things when you've already got the breakdowns on certain things, and you feel with all these artificial fillers, everything's artificial. Everything's artificial fillers, artificial foods, artificial, no offense, algorithm, but artificial algorithms or whatever it may be, the different things. It's so much easier to distort and pollute and to knock something off center, unground them, When you're already living in an ungrounded world, you think about, I'm 38. It took me 38 years to get to this point. The kids nowadays with the viewables and the technologies and the wearables, they've learned 38 years in the last 12 years, They learned 38 years of not everything, not everything, not life, but 38 years of viewing, 38 years of just whatever it may be, It's so much faster, it's so much easier to absorb it, whether it's good or bad.
I think that's a great point. And I to that, I would say that the information age, the accessibility of it, and the speed has allowed us to choose to be bad way easier than it was when I was growing up. I mean, there was a time where a friend of mine and I were riding our bicycles, and we just found this guy's trash can, and he had a Playboy in there, throwing out the Playboy in the trash, and the trash man hadn't picked it up, and we got it, and he kept it at his house, and that was like gold when you're 14 years old.
Yeah.
Certainly bad for us, but it was a find. And you look at a 14-year-old now, they have seen about a zillion things they shouldn't have. And so the Prince of the Air, who has given the internet to the people, I mean, double-edged sword. I know you try to use it for good. I try to use it for good. Bonnie uses it for good. I don't know if Michael and Johnny have produced content, but we all try to use this for good. But I mean, if you want to be bad in this realm right now, this internet makes it
Sword, for sure.
super easy.
Well, it's actually encouraged.
It is encouraged.
Especially, yes, especially with recent new political movements. Because, you know, you go through time in a world where borders don't exist for a period of time. Now, all of a sudden, there's a lot of different countries that can put different seeds in different areas.
Yeah.
United States does it, you know, China does it, Russia does it, France, whatever. And so that's why you see across the world right now, everyone is displeased with their government. Nepal just had a revolt a few months ago, and they stormed their capital with guns, and they tried to take it back. You look at the constant fighting in Africa and the Middle East. You look at the way people here are in the United States and Canada and Australia. Everybody is kind of fed up with their government, especially with these Epstein files and stuff. You know, there's no coincidence that Donald Trump was in there at the time he was, because what you do is you do a bunch of shady stuff and you make people distrust you, right? You go along through time a little bit. You get somebody in place that says, I'm for the people and I'm against all that stuff that they were doing and the swamp and this and that and this and that. And people's like, oh yeah, you know, finally a president that's not doing a bunch of weird, you know, government things and we can't really trust. So they get a bunch of trust in him. And then you get somebody else in the middle that, you know, to be honest, he there at the end, he was pretty cognitively gone.
Diminished.
And I thought it was a little messed up that people were, you know, saying and laughing at this old man that was fumbling and mumbling. How you feel about him or not, you know, he's still a person. But anyway, so then now you get to the point to where everything hits the fan on the guy that everybody, you know, a lot of people anyway, put all their eggs in that basket. All right. So now the whole world is completely dissatisfied with governments, all various countries in the world. And that's the perfect opportunity to bring in a new system, because you can't bring in a new system of governments or rules or laws unless you prove the old fundamental ones obsolete or infallible.
Or failed. Yeah, for sure. And to that point, for those of us who believe in the founding documents and think that they did their best job to try to make government represent what God wanted for us, that when you're speaking of goes against the only congressperson who is adamant about the Constitution and bounced him. So yeah, things are not going to get better. In my opinion, things are not going to get better right away. And probably we're going to have to go through the dark growing pains that society's always gone through when nobody does trust their government. And generally that either means civil war, revolution, some kind of revolt. And I think people get hurt. And of course, my belief, it's all under God's dominion. This is what we're supposed to be going through. We're all born for this time and we're going to be fine. But I think we shouldn't be surprised when the craziest shit that comes out of this administration actually comes out and you're like, what? Is that real? And you're like, yeah, it's actually real. Because idiocracy seems to be about where we're at from where I view it.
It's a continuation. Each president has a role. And I still believe it was all planned to be the way it was.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%, Bonnie. There's no question in my mind.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Why they created such a divide between the people it was to put Biden in. And yes, I believe he was put in. I believe they all are. And It was to make everybody hate somebody, to get everybody angry, and oh, here comes this one's going to come and save the day. But everything that he ran on has been completely not how it was.
Right.
He was going to be the Epstein files, no wars, all of it. And this person, I do not know. I mean, maybe if I think back to The Apprentice, yeah, I've seen that behavior before. And so, and he was a Democrat before. So could he be acting a part? Definitely. But I do believe there's fixing to be a collapse of the whole system in some way. I don't know if it'll be a revolution. I don't know if it'll be the economy. I don't know what's going to cause it, but I just feel that everyone is seeing the true corruption, and I think that people have had enough in one way or the other, and something's got to give.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bonnie. And I think the most beautiful thing that I see is that people are understanding that they're not on our side. They're not. We're on our own. We need to amass community. We need to make small little pockets of people that you can trust, because the system, as we were taught, is not on our side. And I see that everywhere, left, right, and center. And
And
like her, what's that?
it's globally, not just here. I'm
Not
seeing
just the
it.
U.S. Exactly. It's everywhere, and that's a that to me. That's why I think it's a blessing, because the
Yeah,
scales are lifted off the eyes. And whether you like her or not, Candace Owens has got onto this thread about Charlie Kirk that is exposing a lot of people that could not see it otherwise to a thing that is probably true. And I'm not saying she's right. I'm not saying anybody, who knows what happened that day so far, but people around this realm are saying, wait a minute, government is not our friend. They're the exact opposite. And they're extracting our labor through money, and they're abusing us left, right, and center. And a rational version of us would try to think up another system or not have a system. And we're not there yet. But the fact that a lot of people are catching on is really inspiring to me. And I'm very optimistic for the future. Even if it turns into a digital panopticon, that means that not enough of us paid attention, but there will be a time when enough of us pay attention.
When when I read the Bible, a lot of people think that the mark of the beast is going to be this time where people are, basically oppressed and, hated and all this other stuff. But when you actually read the Bible, you get a different picture. So when the mark of the beast comes about, that's going to be the answer to all society's problems. It's going to be like a utopia. It'll be the first time that humanity together under one umbrella unites itself. And they throw out the rejects or the outcasts. Now you look at the way that things are going and the attack, not necessarily just on Christianity, because the devil doesn't do things so openly. Because if they just came out and specifically persecuted Christians, then people might get wise and be like, oh, this is the mark of the beast. But if somebody comes around and they're more logic based and into science and, I guess for a lack of a better term, atheist in a way, and everything they believe is backed by facts and figures and data. The main consensus now in the world is that religion is the problem. So many people believe that religion in general is the problem. Okay. So with this whole alien disclosure thing, and this is just my opinion, allegedly, people are going to see and deal with real physical things that they probably never thought that they would even entertain before. Like, I know it sounds crazy now, but just imagine one day or one night you look up in the sky and there's a giant worm just kind of, moving its way through the sky or something. Or imagine a group of people get together to conjure up UFOs, and there's all kinds of crazy experiences documented. And when you look at the CE5 protocol with Stephen Greer, that's exactly what they're doing, is that they're telling people, hey, if you think about these things with intention and with love, and you think about where you're at, that they'll show up. And people are doing it, and things are showing up to a lot of people. And then you think about this movie, Disclosure Day. All right, the world is going to change very significantly after that movie comes out. Mark my words. After that movie comes out, it's going to be a big eye-opening event for a lot of people that would receive it that way. And really, this whole alien disclosure thing would be the means to the end to a degree, because when everybody's fighting and arguing and they think aliens are like doomsday and all this stuff, but actually the aliens come with the intent of love and all these other things and open arms and all this stuff, people will unite. It would be the exact opposite. So that would be the uniting force behind people. And then there's going to be people that inevitably will be just one person that'll control everything. And when you look at what BlackRock is doing and some of these asset managing groups and various things, they're tokenizing all of their assets. They're putting it into digital format. So the whole world's being tokenized, and all of the power and everything is in data. So it's changing rapidly.
It is changing rapidly, and back to your earlier point that what I got from the revelation to John was that the Antichrist would have to be universally loved. And none of the people that I hear are the Antichrist are that. So when one team calls out Trump as the Antichrist or Elon or whoever, there's no universal love for that person. And I could be wrong, but that was my reading, that everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this guy's the greatest guy ever, and he's saving us. And I do wonder if they're trying to present somebody as that, but the timeline, this is in God's timeline, not mine. But I don't see anybody as being universally loved.
Do you think it would be a person or a thing? Do you think it would?
No.
Do you think it would All right. Do you think it would necessarily have to be a person? In my question that I'm presenting, do you think it could be a thing or an idea or maybe a system, a program? Do you think
totally what? Absolutely could be.
I know a lot of times we think of it like the imagery. We think of the polar opposite of Christ. The Christed individual. Allegedly the one that walked this earth. We think of it in the human form, I guess, because we think of a lot in flesh. However spiritual or righteous or religious we may seem, ultimately we're just spiritual beings having a human experience, fleshly. But what if it's not a human? I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just throwing that out there.
You're right, Watt. It could be people's phones.
Well,
for all I know. But real quick, Michael, before you go, Michael. No, you're good. It was nice to meet you. Good to hear you, Johnny. Bonnie, always good to see you. Wildlife, thank you. I got to bounce. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you allowing me up, and I hope you guys continue to have a good conversation, because there's some heartfelt people in here, I can tell. So,
well, it was nice meeting you too, and I hope you have a great night. And Lord willing, we'll speak again.
There you go. Take good care of yourselves.
Have a good night. I'll go.
But to my opinion, which may not be worth much, but my opinion is when you read the Bible and Jesus is talking about the abomination that makes desolate, it was spoken of by Daniel the prophet. Okay, so automatically Jesus is referencing Daniel in the end times. Okay, so when you read Daniel, you find out that this is indeed a man, and he goes into the temple of God. And he worships a God his fathers knew not, a strange God, and he goes in there and he declares himself as God and shows himself as God. But that could be, you don't have to have a third temple for that, because the Bible says that you're the temple of God. So really, when everybody kind of wants this one leader, but anyway, it to me it will be a man. It'll be one singular man, but the image of the beast, I believe, is AI. I think that's what the image of the beast is, because that man gives power to the image to kill all those that wouldn't worship it. And that's how, obviously, he would issue a mark where no one could buy or sell, all the way down to a slave, slave, free, bond, poor, everybody. So, um, really, it's not about for me, it's not trying to figure out who the Antichrist is, because in the Bible it says he'll be revealed, but he'll be revealed after two things happen, is what it says in Daniel. That a falling away of the faith happened first, and then Jerusalem is trampled underfoot for 40 and 2 months. Because Daniel talks heavily about that, about how there'll be a coalition or a confederacy that will encompass Jerusalem, and that's how they go in and set up the abomination that makes desolate. um, at, at some point. I don't know
Yeah.
if it means that there needs to be a third temple. I'm not like an expert, but that's just what, when I read the Bible, that's what it says and stuff. But I do want to say I got to go as well, because it is getting late.
There you
And it's
go.
been a
Speaking of
pleasure.
Exodus, things happen, people come, people go. I appreciate you checking in, tuning in.
Yes, sir. It's been a privilege and a pleasure talking to y'all. And Lord willing, I'll be on another time. I hope y'all have a great night.
Or willing
Have a
and
good
the
night,
creek
Michael.
don't rise. We'll be here sometime, somewhere, Didn't lock them in for the 48-hour marathon, but it's all right. Maybe the next 48-hour marathon, Just for
We
the
got a
first 40 days.
full moon out.
Nice. Let's check it out. Let's see what the Johnny Cam's capturing. Hold on. People like the Johnny Cam. Dude, they got you in a cage, bro. Where you at? Man, were you at the border?
That's my
You at the border?
That's his blinds.
Johnny, what you doing, man? Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah.
They don't win
Oh, and
in night mode.
I could see mine through the screens in my room. It's pretty cool.
And the clouds are still pretty thick here.
Maybe it'll be a little cooler tomorrow if it's cloudy.
I could only hope so. I think they said I forget what they projected to be tomorrow, but I think it's cooler than what it's been.
It's going to be about 90 here. No, it's a little warm. That's why we're going early. And the kids. Yeah, I like the way he said that. A human is in charge of the AI. I don't know that.
Is it really?
Well, is creating it. I do believe it's going to have a mind of its own, possibly, but
what if something is simple and complex and is multi-dimensional is AI? What if something like that, artificial intelligence, how long do you think something like that has been around? Do you think it's been around? Do you think it's like a newer thing, or you think something like that could be as old as time? You have like I don't know, I guess the God, the creator, the Heavenly Father, the architect, whatever you want to call, you know,
Hmm.
whoever orchestrated all this. So I mean, at some point you have like um, you have, I guess, a light, I guess, goodness, light, or whatever, if you want to look at it that way. Then you have like a darkness, or maybe like I don't know, something that's even far as like an antimatter. Um, so you would have like that evil. Maybe what if it was like a form of consciousness of that evil, whatever that evil may be, the devil, whatever. There's many different names of those, demons, whatever it may be.
Right.
Lucifer, Satan, whatever title they give it. What if it's just a form and an essence? Like that one video, I don't know if somebody shared it with me or I saw it or whatever it was, but it was a pretty interesting concept. This guy he had where it's showing about the AI, and it went in a cycle. It was talking about maybe the pyramids or something, and it was showing how like the AI or the artificial intelligence, whatever it might have been, kind of worked in a cycle. And at some point the humanoids broke free or something around the pyramid time. Um, and then ever since then, the essence of the AI was trying to get back to control the humanoids again, almost kind of like now we see different movies, different films, different things. I think ultimately it could be, like just watching movies and stuff. You invite these things in, it gets you talking about it, the energy shift, whatever it may be. Things
Yes.
happen and you don't even feel it. Things are happening and you don't even have to say it. Things are put in motion by other people. We speak things into existence. Don't think the things that are working to stop you, whatever to me, don't think they're taking a break. They're not taking the weekend off, whoever and whatever they may be. Aliens, demons, reptilians, politicians, whatever, whatever title they give them. I don't know what they go by these days.
Right. Well, I think it's anything that people can come dependent on that keeps them from being with family, like actually interacting with family. So, yes, our phones, the internet, all of it um, is, but it's all been created by man. But I can see the um, the playground that it could become for evil. Definitely. I mean, I've heard of the black web, never been there. And what you
Don't want to
said
go to
about
the dark
movies,
web, buddy. Yeah, stay out of there.
what you said about
Stay in the brightly lit LED web, the flashy light web. Stay out of the
right,
dark web.
the what you said about movies, I truly believe that because um that's why I don't watch the horror movies. Anything that makes me feel anxious or stressed, I feel is not something I need in my life. And so, um, and that's even in the internet. If I'm listening to something and I'm just like, I start getting angry or um,
It's like
just,
anything, if it's taking more out of you than what you're getting out of it, it may be a bad
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Everything in moderation. I
yes,
love strawberries, but if I eat a whole bucket of strawberries, I'm gonna feel sick,
yes.
whatever it may be. You gotta find your own moderation and proper intake of strawberries.
And we all have a different way of looking at things. Um, thank goodness we're all different.
I think I'm
And
gonna binge watch Tales from the Crypt after this. I'm gonna just go full in horror comedy after this. I'm gonna start from episode 1 and just see how far I can handle it. Tales from the Crypt. You remember that, Bunny?
yes, but I never watched it.
But
I
we
did-
didn't have much on TV coming up in the 90s as a kid, and I think it was like, I don't think it was every night. I think it was like Friday night or one night. So mom was like, "Are you gonna be all right in here watching Tales from the Crypt?" I'm like, "It's Tales from the Crypt. It's like comedy horror, you know." But
yeah,
yeah, Tales from the Crypt.
and yeah, I didn't watch any of those. I have never really been a TV watcher. If somebody tells me a movie is good and it sounds good, I'll watch it. And most of the movies I watch are faith-based. So, even some of them that have been suggested, I'll start looking at it and then it's like, nope, not watching that.
Gotta feed the data. Gotta keep the data hungry, you know. Gotta feed-
Yes. But that's I know at the other house, for whatever reason, I started feeling like it wasn't like there was a darkness, but it was like a dimming, I guess is what you would call it. And so finally I said something to the girls and they were like, "Yes, we've noticed." And so my daughter went out, got the smudging, whatever you use for that, the oils. We were anointing everything, and you could tell the change after that was done. But I told them, I said, "Y'all keep watching these movies that I think could have something to do with this."
All right, I
And
probably
nothing,
won't do Tales from the Crypt. I'll probably do Twilight Zone. I'll binge watch Twilight Zone after this.
The moon's behind me. You're in the Twilight Zone.
and I don't have anything that says welcome in front of my house. Anything that I try not to invite it in, and I try to stay away from things that I disagree with, because I'll spout off and it only hurts people. And so that's where I've had to really I'm so glad you started doing live
Viewer
swap,
discretion is advised.
because I've had to really check myself and why I believe the things I believe, and I'm not changing my beliefs. It's I see the pattern. I can't help but see the pattern. I see the puzzle pieces going together, and I see that we're in a downward spiral. I have some good news. I saw gas for $3.61. And so I don't know what's going on that caused that, but it was good to see.
You just gave me a great idea, Bonnie. I think my next live stream, I think for Watts World episode 50, I'll just be me. I'll be live streaming with the camera on, putting together a giant puzzle. You think people would tune in to watch somebody put together a puzzle? Who would watch that? What type of people do you think would watch that? What type of puzzle would it be? I think the image of the puzzle would ultimately be the deciding factor. The image and the size of the puzzle. Like, you don't want to come in there cocked with like a 100-piece puzzle. Like, who is this guy? Who is this rookie? You come in there with a 10,000-piece puzzle. Right. You know what I mean? They're like, wow, dude, we don't believe he can do it. We don't believe it.
Yes. Yep.
There, you see what I'm saying? It's already trending, Bonnie. We're less than 33 seconds in, and it's already trending. You can't stop these type of things. I don't think I've ever seen nobody do nothing like that. You know, we'll see. See what happens.
Sorry, my sound's weird because I got the fan on this side and then the moon on that side. It's weird, man. It's trippy tonight. I'm feeling trippy. Crazy.
No, dude. Johnny, you could just have a live stream just saying trippy, dude, and people would watch in. You have like 15K watching, like, who is this Johnny? Who is this international man of Miss Tory? You know? Just give them the occasional moon shoulder pics. Just don't show it through that weird blinds, whatever you got. It kind of looked like you was at the border for a minute. Yeah. But other than that, it was a great view.
Oh no, that's blinds.
I had to set up a GoFundMe, dude. Fucking rescue Johnny. Bring Johnny back.
You would help people that need it more than me, man. I got enough stuff. I don't got no wife and kids, so yeah, I got enough money, man. You don't need to do that for me. There's a lot more people in the world that need it more than me.
We got to get Johnny back, bro. We thought she was too close to the border. I remember, I think it was my aunt. I don't even know if they still make them. I think they banned them, dude. I think they outlawed them after my aunt bought them. But you know, the back in the day, like if you had like a sliding glass door, they would have those. They were like blinds, but they just hung down. You know, you could twist them and open. But
they were vertical. Yes.
Yeah, the vertical. My aunt, she had some. Man, these things were like metal. I don't know what they were. I don't even think they were legal. I don't even think you were legally allowed to own them in your home. But she had those on all her doors. Man, those things were dangerous. You couldn't come through the door sideways on that, man. You had bulletproof glass and Apache helicopter blades just hanging from the doors. You know, who do you think you are coming through this security measurements? You know, the heck with the CDC, man. You had to see me just to get in. You know, it's crazy. I think they banned them after my generation came along. It was just breaking them off and just making them, forging them into samurai swords and stuff. Battle armor.
Yep, I've had those, and they kind of help keep the temperature out.
They kept everything out. Either you were in or out. You know, you had to figure out which one it was. You just said, "The hell with it. I'm going through the front door."
I know my fan points out. It points the air out because I'm sorry I fart when I sleep too much. I'm in good shape and everything. It's just for some reason I've got gas problems when I sleep. It's the worst.
It happens. You got to take a Beano before.
It pushes out.
There'd be no gas after.
So I don't gas myself out. It pushes out the bad air, man. It's just right there's my window. I basically open up the window.
Heck with it. You just start climbing out windows. You just go totally primitive and caveman. You just forget all other exits exist. You just start climbing out second story windows. To heck with it, you know. I don't even want to be here no more. You start taking the long way home with Bobby Nichols.
Oh my goodness!
It's a single story house. I won't hurt myself too much. I'm in good shape.
That makes it even worse, dude. That makes it even worse. If you're falling out of a 2-story window in a 1-story house, dude, that is a Florida man story, bro. I think I saw that the other day. That was a Florida man story. The dude fell out of a 2nd-story window in his mother-in-law's 1-story house, and somehow he managed to crawl himself all the way down to the water surface, and somehow this estranged family of dolphins rescued him, dude. And then he thought it was a rescue, but really they kidnapped him. They kidnapped this dude, man. It was a crazy story, man. Florida man story. I don't have a link and nothing can be confirmed, but yeah.
I'd be okay with dolphins kidnapping me.
Oh, they're just happening now, buddy. You got to be careful now. The heck with Shark Week. You got to watch out for Flipper Week. They'll flip you for real. Man.
Pink dolphins.
Man, you just be out there, just who do you think you are?
What's that? What's the one called that comes up on the edge? Seal. It'd be cool to play with the seal too.
You mean a sea lion?
Oh no, Bunny. They got lion in their name. They call them the lion of the sea for a reason, you know?
The sea
be careful.
lions are huge and fat. The seal is a smaller. They're
I don't
they're
know.
they're gentle.
I don't think you can misappropriate the animal kingdom like that. I don't know. We're just starting to get back right with the ASPCA here after the comments I made about the Alabama mascot, you know, being an appropriate elephant. But we won't go there. I can't speak on that right now. Just we're almost back to getting the ASPC accreditation back, you know. Real close. 700 at least, you know. 700 more community service hours. That's all it takes. Or what's it? The walrus? Was it the walrus? The one with the tusks? That's the one you got to watch out for. I imagine that joker will get you. You don't want to be in the water with that joker. Oh. It's like the cheetah of the sea.
Good old eel. An eel got Steve Irwin. He died. An eel got him. An electric eel.
Stingray.
Stingray. Sorry. Gotcha.
Stingray. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Either way, you know, I mean, stingray or sting. Yeah, either way. He had a freak accident. Think about all the creatures and different things he dealt with and handled over his whole life, you know?
Yes.
Man.
One of my friends got zapped by one, and he was sick, but he was okay after a while.
You know? Boy, look at the crocodile, mate. Yeah. This dude used to put his whole body inside a crocodile's mouth, you know, nothing ever happened. He never decided to swim with the stingrays one day. I guess the barb or however their tail can get you, you know, it's a freak accident, but
the electric got him, man. It's probably worse than a 220 shock, man.
Yeah, you got the natural Tesla. Yeah, you got the full CBD on that one, full spectrum. Or what was it? The speaking of the full spectrum, you know we are on the spectrum right now, but it was somewhere in South Carolina. They had several reports. People was allegedly taking these pictures and sending them in. I seen a newscast that said it was the what's that one type of jellyfish? The man of war.
Yes.
Familiar with the man of war? They were having man of war sightings out there off the coast of South Carolina, South Kakalaki.
Doesn't a man of war look a lot like a stingray?
No, it's a man of war. It's a jellyfish. I believe it's a species or type of jellyfish. And I forget. It's definitely not common around here. Could be wrong. Maybe Australia, certain parts like that. Definitely not on this side of the rock. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
They have all the killer things over there.
Could be. Portuguese. Yeah, the Portuguese man of war. Mary heard about it.
Yeah.
Dang, Johnny, you been bringing over your jellyfishes? What's going on, man? What's going on over in Portuguese? Why are y'all sending all the jellyfishes?
There's also dogs too. The Portuguese dog, and then there's Brazil too.
I like the Portuguese dog. They're all right. I respect them. But yeah, what's up with the Portuguese man of war? How'd they get all the way over here? What's up with that?
I don't know, man. It was on a boat.
Too close to Shark Week, you know?
It was on a boat, man.
Where's SpongeBob and Patrick at when you need them, you know? Where's the jellyfishers of the world?
They got a whole lot.
Maybe they can stick to a boat and just travel.
Oh, no.
Castaways.
I mean, things happen, but even that, you know, is it something that caused it happen? You know, obviously, if it's not from this area, how did it get here?
Could have came from Brazil too, because Portugal.
I don't know the impact or how. I guess it just depends on the person. I guess if you get hit, I don't know if it's one of those things that you just instantly die. You know, I don't know. I don't know if you got like a survival rate or what happens. I don't imagine if you're in the water and it lights you up, it's the currents and stuff can get you. There's other things, I guess, if you go unconscious. Maybe on the
Mhm.
land it'd be a little bit different. I don't know.
Yeah. Is it called a riptide? The
But yeah, it'll get you. Gotta be careful.
and the currents. Yeah. When we go to the coast, we look at all that, and also the bacteria levels. If we're going to get in the water or even fishing, we check all that out just to make sure.
Gotta be careful. Gotta watch out for these man of wars, buddy.
Yep.
And
They're on the land, they're in the water.
see, Portugal might have ran from because sorry to say they slaved other countries like Mozambique, Angola, and Brazil. They could have bring it from there and just stamped it as Portuguese man of war, just because they like to look cool, you know. So it could have been from other places, not just Portugal. Because Portugal is a small country in Europe. If it
Damn, they
wasn't
enslaved the jellyfish? The Portuguese enslaved the jellyfish? Is that what you're telling me?
I wouldn't be surprised, man. My ancestors
Wow, dude.
did some crazy stuff, dude.
Well, who do you think you are just to single-handedly control the jellyfish population, bro? Man, that's pretty dark.
Crazy people, dude. Hopefully, I'm not that dark,
We'll
man.
get
I try
there.
not to be that dark.
No, it's cool. I like it. I didn't even know you could enslave a jellyfish, you know? That
Right.
makes sense. Now I see why SpongeBob and Patrick were trying to catch him back in the day. I never really knew. Now it makes sense.
But who would want to?
It's just because, you know, somebody will do a thing if no other reason, just because they can do it, you know?
Well, you know why they did that? The same thing with the spices. They went to Macau, which is where the casinos at in Asia, China, you know, Macau. So they take weird stuff like the jellyfish or spices.
Yeah. The
They go to
black
Macau
market
and sell it.
jellyfish. Shoot, yeah.
They'd
Talking
sell it
about
there.
the money.
You know, Portugal was actually in Macau until 1999. Then they got kicked out because they were doing some shady stuff. So it's a good thing Macau did kick them out in 1999. But
Yeah, they were
they got
partying too hard. They said the heck with it. We are partying like it's 1999.
that's Macau. Yeah,
It's Macau for you. You know, what do you expect?
Macau,
Yep.
the city with the in China with the casinos. Yeah,
Oh,
Portugal
yeah.
actually ran that for until 1999. Some of it, so they got kicked out finally in 1999.
Mm.
They got kicked out of Africa in 1976, so because they were
Yeah, dude.
slaving people.
So what's going on with Japan?
What happened?
Why is everybody pissed at Japan right now?
Not sure.
Couldn't tell you, buddy. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Just I just saw a
Gotta get a
video.
Japanese correspondent, buddy. We got to get somebody from Japan. We need an Asian correspondent.
And I know a lady that lives there. I'll have to see if I can find her. See if
See
she's
if we
saying
can't get
any-
a fax to her. Send
Yeah.
to Western Union. Yeah, all my correspondents are back in the States now. They've all left Japan. I have no more Japanese correspondents.
South Korea is kind of like Japan in some ways. I mean, their population is getting old, and they're actually wanting people to have more kids because they are losing population.
South Korea, you say?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all
I
of them.
imagine they're going through their population or whatever dealings just like everybody else. Especially that part of the world where they are, you know, especially just still to this day, however separated North and Korea still are. You know, it's crazy.
When they were restricting how many children they could have. So that's what China figured out finally. Okay, we're losing people really quick.
Yeah.
They're not near as populated as they used to be. They're kind of doing it to themselves with that social credit score thing.
Yeah, make sure to keep your social credit score on the up and up on the positive. You know, don't want a bad social credit score. Sorry, sir. No tacos on Friday. Your social credit score cannot accept it. Yeah.
Dugongs.
Yeah,
That's
Philippines actually boomed for a minute when Vietnam War was going on. So that's what made Philippines, because they're so close to Vietnam. So American bases, the American made bases in Philippines. So that's why Philippines boomed at that time.
Night, Mary. I'm not far behind.
Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow?
It's actually my mom's name too.
Shout out to Marys of the world, you know?
Yeah.
Mary Poppins,
Mary Poppins, Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
That's about all I know, really, now that you mention it. Dang.
Mother Mary.
Mother Mary. Mother Mary, how far art thou? You know? A lot of beautiful Marys in chat, but yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one, but I can't remember. I forget the thing.
Well, I think I'm going to have to get to bed too.
Yeah, I think I might as well shut it down. It's been a pretty interesting evening, you know? A whole lot of nothing, a little bit of something. I like it. It's Friday. What else you want, you know? A long work week makes for a weekend, you know? When you work your butt off all week, it makes for a weekend. You got to have the weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate everybody being here in the now. Anybody that may be insane enough and tune in the future. You know, if you didn't get enough here, you get a little flashback. You know, I appreciate that as well. Who knows? Who knows when it'll be the next episode? Make sure you tune in, tune out, stay alert, be alert. I hope you have a blessed, prosperous, and productive weekend. Whatever adventures and endeavors you may encounter. But other than that, any final thoughts or words?
There's a full moon out, man.
There's a full moon rising.
I don't know if you guys got the same moon I do. Maybe Texas
I can
does.
feel it in my bones. I like it. I do feel the energy, whether you believe it or not. You know, I do feel it. I feel that energy. It's raining again. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, it's trying to block it.
The dogs are going to be howling tonight with the full moon.
You're damn right they are.
Not mine. She's out cold.
Oh no, they will, Bonnie. They're about to be. They're about to be howling. But I got the link pinned in chat if anybody wants to come in the backstage. Other than that, I appreciate you. I love you, even if you don't love me back. Good night, everybody. God bless y'all.
Thank you. Got
too many buttons to press. I think I've exceeded my button limit pressing for the night. I can't even find the button. Well, I guess it'll have to be a 48-hour marathon after all. You know?
You need outside.
See, I told you. I've seen it coming, Bonnie.
Thanks for having me.